Get a sound check.
Aha! Hit the drop.
I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
What was Gruden thinking?
If you don't know what to do, you won't play here.
Knock on wood if you're with me, okay?
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
What was Gruden thinking? Are you kidding me? How do you turn that down? What are you thinking?
Today's guests, Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian, Saints defensive end Cameron Jordan, actor and former NFL running back Thomas Q. Jones. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Rich Eisen Show live in Los Angeles, California on this Westwood One radio affiliate coast to coast and the Odyssey app. And we say hello to our YouTube viewers, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. Yes, you can watch the Rich Eisen Show every single day right here on our YouTube page until we land on the Roku channel for free. Sometime in September. We will be there very shortly, and we are excited to be coming to the Roku channel in September. But for the moment, hello to our YouTube viewers, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. And then we say hello to everybody in the chat room, the 457s. We say hello to you here on this Tuesday. We say
Chat's
hello
been
to
rebranded?
you.
Rebranded chat?
I don't know what you mean by rebranding. Good to see you over there, Chris Brockman. How are you?
What's up, Rich?
Good to see you. Jay Felly sitting in the chair for DJ Mikey D, who's somewhere, someplace. Good to see you.
What's
Good
up,
to see you.
Rich?
TJ Jefferson lighting the candle. What's going on over there, TJ?
Atmosphere and ambiance, Rich.
Atmosphere and ambiance.
That's
the
what
old
we do.
A&A. Very good. Good to have you all with us here. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial on whatever's on your mind. We start today's show with the date of June 30th. June 30th. Let me do the math. It's 31 plus 23, 45 days ago. Month and a half. Pretty much, right?
We're not good at
45 days ago. Did I get the math right? I'm more verbal than math.
That's all of us.
44 days?
Well, 31 and 20, 44. Okay. I'm terrible at math.
That's all right.
We shouldn't.
At least I carried the one. So here we are, 44 days later. From the day that Kevin Durant let it be known, I want to be traded away from the Brooklyn Nets. Fascinatingly enough, just a couple of days after Kyrie Irving says, I'm staying with the Brooklyn Nets.
Right.
And so he says, I'm staying with the Brooklyn Nets. And then Durant says, I wish to leave the Brooklyn Nets. And we're all wondering, so is it because Kyrie came back? Does he have a problem with Kyrie Irving being unreliable? Whether it was last year with the vaccine mandate or the previous season where he was troubled by social events in our country and took time off. At least that's why the absence that occurred a couple times in the previous season with Kyrie Irving in the Nets, but one was particularly protracted over 2 weeks. Maybe he had enough of that, even though the two of them teamed up together when he left Golden State to show up in Brooklyn. But it was not that, apparently. It was apparently, as we learned later in July or earlier this month, you can kind of lose track, he had an issue, apparently, with the coach and the general manager, Steve Nash and Sean Marks. Durant let it be known he will stay if they go. And true or not, well, apparently it was true because Joe Tsai, the owner of the Nets, came out and said, I'm sticking with my coach and general manager. But he said he was also sticking with Durant. How do you square that circle? Well, apparently the circle was squared yesterday. Or the square was circled yesterday. Or some shape, some sort of geometry happened yesterday. Here in Los Angeles. We weren't even invited.
Circle gets the square.
Couldn't
like
even
Hollywood
get right
Square.
at the Hollywood Squares. It was a Hollywood Squares.
Whoopi Goldberg for the block.
Actually, there is no block. It's all fun and games now. Because the genie has been put back in the bottle. Sean Marks, the general manager in question, released a statement today saying Steve Nash and I, together with Joe Tsai and Clara Wu Tsai, his wife, met with Kevin Durant and Rich Kleiman, friend of the program, I added that, in Los Angeles yesterday. We have agreed to move forward with our partnership. We are focusing on basketball with one collective goal in mind, build a lasting franchise to bring a championship to Brooklyn. And interestingly enough, the logos at the bottom of the statement, the Brooklyn Nets logo, and the boardroom. So they're co-branding with Kevin Durant, not just playing basketball. Look, that's a partnership. Maybe that's part of the partnership. They're co-branding the boardroom and the Brooklyn Nets. Is that what it was all about? Co-branding? So Durant staying put, or to use, I guess, the Ben Simmons phrase, Kevin Durant has re-entered the conversation. Because there's that one too. Ben Simmons acquired by Sean Marks, only to not play at all. And then have a back injury that sparked again just when it was time for the playoffs. And rumor had it, stories have it, reporting has it. The Nets had a teamed text chat chain texting Simmons, would be nice to have you back here in time for Game 4 so we don't get swept by the Celtics. And according to reports, he exited that text chain. He exited the conversation, which is the 21st century way of giving everybody the middle finger.
New phone, who this?
I understand.
So, put it all together. Kyrie Irving decides, you know what? I don't think I'm going to get that money elsewhere. I'll just go back. Durant says, you know what? I'm out. Oh, you know what? I'll just go back. Simmons, I'm assuming, has re-entered the chat. So the 2022-2023 Brooklyn Nets have a new rallying cry.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
There it is.
That's pretty good.
Put on a banner.
That's pretty good.
Put on a T-shirt.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Brooklyn Nets basketball. Yeah, sure. Why not? And
That would be great to post on a billboard, man.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. Okay.
The picture
Yeah,
of
what else are we
Bobby.
going to do?
Okay.
Well, you know, what else are we going to do? That's basically what the current belief outside of the Nets building is. Perhaps there is a true belief that this can work, because I said it first week of July. First week of July. I even ducked underneath the table after I said it. What if the Nets tell Kevin Durant,
Tough.
no,
Yeah.
we're not trading you?
Sorry, dude.
No. Kyrie's opted back in. Ben Simmons is going to be, I guess, remade the $6 million man, right? Seth Curry's there.
Yep.
Harris is coming back, right? We got a team. This is the best chance you all have to go get a championship or be paid what you're going to be paid to win a championship in New York City, by the way. So we'll just say no. We'll say, yes, Kyrie, welcome back. And no, Kevin, you're not leaving. And I guess what this was a 44-day-long no.
54, sorry.
54-day-long no. God, geez, how terrible are we at math?
Not great.
We can all spell pretty well, though. So there's
31, 23, 54.
Good Lord, I should have written it down.
We got it now.
A 54-day-long no.
That was longer than Tom Brady's retirement.
Yes, I agree. It was. And I guess that's the way you say no to Kevin Durant. It's just like, okay, you know what? You go find a spot if you want. And then we'll listen. And in the process of us listening, we'll just blow up the Celtics relationship with Jaylen Brown for a minute. You know, we'll do that. We'll cause Jaylen Brown to get all pissed off with the rumors that the Celtics are listening for the Nets entreaties for Brown and others.
Messed up their chemistry a
You
little
know?
bit. Had Brockman
how many
fired
other,
up.
Right, how many other teams are going to say, we'll blow up our team for Durant, leak those things out so everybody knows when it doesn't happen that your team was willing to part with you for Durant. FY, it's just a little FYI, Boston.
for your information.
As we learned, by the way, that Jason Tatum was significantly injured during his spectacular season in which he played an absurd amount of minutes and almost got the Celtics to the promised land. So
That's insane.
there's that.
Didn't even talk about that yesterday.
There's that.
A hairline fracture in his wrist for a couple months.
Yeah, but we knew something was.
He was first team All NBA.
We thought it was his shoulder when he went running off the
Right.
court in the playoffs and then came back after Marcus Smart did the same thing. But at any rate, this is about the Nets for the moment, trying to get to the point where they could at least win a single playoff game against those Celtics. And so that's going to be the question. Every single time that this team takes the court, body language, timeout. They're going back to the huddle. Who's going to listen to Coach Nash? Who's doing that? Body language every single time. Get ready for it. And at least they're not in a media market that's not going to be talking about it all the time. Wait a minute.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
And then trade deadline starts to roam around. What happens if the Nets are around 500 and Simmons isn't playing? Or he is playing and he doesn't seem like he's the same. But kudos to Joe Tsai, man. Holding his ground. He's got a great team on paper. But as my friend Kenny Mayne would say, games aren't played on paper, they're played inside TV sets. And we will be turned up to these games and tuned into these games in a significant way to see how this all shakes out. This was truly the only play the Nets could have had, which is get Kyrie back, tell Durant you're staying put. Somehow, some way, Ben Simmons realizes his career is at some form of a crossroads, and he comes back, and Steve Nash weaves it all together, and everybody buys what he's selling. And everybody's healthy, and the team meshes, and Nash knows how to weave it all together, and hunky-dory, Nets have a shot at a 1 seed, a 2 seed, and look out. Because Durant is Durant, and Kyrie's Kyrie, and Simmons used to be Simmons, and Steve Nash knows a lot of basketball from his outstanding playing days, and the bench does well, and everybody does well.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's it. 2022, 2023 Nets. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I want to see that on billboards, on the side of buses, in subways in New York City.
Funny.
Everywhere. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Doesn't that sums it up? Bobby Cannavale sums it up. As he's making sure that his parking spot was secured outside in front of his Brooklyn spot.
By the way, one of the greatest parking jobs of all time.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. So what do you guys think out there? 844-204-RICH, or you could chime in on the chat room, all you 457s out there.
Putting up a poll right now.
Yes.
Rich Eisen show.
Yes.
Now that Durant's back, how far do the Nets go? Lose in the first or second round, lose in the Eastern Finals, lose in the NBA Finals, win the NBA title.
But Durant, in the same way that you always point out, Brady never used the word retire. Durant never left.
He asked for a trade. I mean, that technically is saying, like, I don't want to be here.
That's correct.
Like,
And how
Magic
about that?
Johnson.
How about that? He says, I want to trade, and he doesn't get one.
I mean, Kyrie and Durant are back, really, right?
What is this world coming to in the NBA?
I mean, Kyrie was going to the Lakers for a second, I thought.
I know.
Brockman, I tried to tell you neither one of them are leaving that team for
you were-
months.
you were kind of on that.
What, did he just admit I was
Dude,
right?
Celtics,
Wow.
Nets games will be lit.
Crap.
Lit. With Jaylen Brown going against the Nets. Kyrie going against the Celtics. Sixers versus Nets games.
This
lit.
guy texted me this morning, what if the Sixers get
Lit.
KD? And I
Lit.
was like, you'll lose in the first round?
I hate you.
Lit. Lit. It's going to be great. Same thing with this program. On the show, Thomas Q. Jones, 10,000-yard rusher in the NFL, now a successful actor, will be here in studio. Always love checking in with him. Cam Jordan of the New Orleans Saints. He's a delight. And can't wait to check in on a team that nobody's talking about that has an opportunity to make the playoffs this year, for sure. And I'm sure he's got an opinion on the hit on Kayvon Thibodeau that is perfectly legal, as I found out on Twitter The offensive line Twitter has made me, along with Emmanuel Acho, public enemy number one. But I don't know what Emmanuel said after he went all in on Thibodeau being hit and how horrible it was. I know I made a mea culpa yesterday, and I guess we got to get our information out a little bit more because I have been offensive line Twitter's favorite punching bag over the last 24 hours. Even though I came on this show yesterday, raised my hand and said, my bad.
Social media is tough, Rich.
Oh, it's all right.
It is tough.
I got a thick skin. And 1.2 million Twitter followers of my own to strike back with.
Ooh, stun on him, Rich. Stun on him.
With my chest.
Throw deep, baby.
That was deep,
I don't
baby.
know what that means.
Also, hey, you know what's coming up next?
I liked it, Philly.
You know what's coming up next in 5 minutes' time? Steve Sarkisian
Hey, Sark.
of Texas football.
Have they been in the news at all this?
I can't wait.
this
I
summer?
want them to win it all, not just because there's so many UT fans that would want to, just to see if Ohio State fans own this quarterback too that they had watched being sent somewhere to the Gulf South states. They'll own Quinn Ewers too, because he sat in a meeting room for a year and saw C.J. Stroud do so well. He's like, I got to get out of here.
Like, I gotta go.
And Steve Sarkisian's like, we're starting him. Okay. Kid from Southland, Texas. Going to start playing ball in Austin, Texas, September 10th, 2022. Alabama at Texas. Hey now. So Sark taking the latest former Saban assistant to go against Saban. This is going to be lit. It's going to be great. He's joining us in just 5 minutes' time. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial. I'm following baseball again. TJ Jefferson is not. Great day. Great day on the Rich Eisen show.
Back.
Oh, yeah. But like Durant, I was never gone. 844-204-RICH, number to dial right here on the YouTube stream and this Rich Eisen Show terrestrial radio network affiliates. Steve Sarkisian, hook 'em when we come back.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show on our YouTube stream, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. Put up that graphic, Mike Hoskins. We're very proud of this
Great graphic.
Put up the
Great
graphic. Look at that. The Rich
Yeah,
Eisen
yeah,
Show
yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
Roku channel coming.
Well, I'm going to tweet this out.
So there's a few things I want to point out here. See the word free? That's very important.
yes.
Yeah, I think that needs to
Free
be
is
probably
very-
bigger,
free is very
actually.
Well, I mean, yes. Free. Like, it doesn't cost you a dime. Free.
Can we put that in caps?
Free. Now, you also say, well, I don't have a Roku device. Guess what?
You probably
Put it
do.
up on the screen one more
Don't need
time. I
one.
don't need to see myself for the moment,
need
even though
one.
I like the shirt I'm wearing today. Yes, or on Roku devices. Samsung Smart TV, it's there too.
A friend of mine told me that the other day. I didn't even know it. She was like, "You're on Samsung." I was like, "Really?"
Yes, we are.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon Fire TV. Look at that. We're there too. So move over, Al Michaels. I don't know why I say it that way because I love
That was
man.
aggressive.
What was that about?
Why'd you do that?
Move over, Bosch.
We like Bosch too. He was a cool guy. Yeah.
They started filming yesterday.
I don't know. And you get it on you could stream it on your phone. The RokuChannel.com as well. So again, everybody out there is like, man, I'm going to miss streaming you at work. I assume you've got a desktop at work.
You would think.
RokuChannel.com. It's free. Boom. And that's the word you say when you pop it up there.
Boom.
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 That's it. Boom. Like that.
Okay. Not
You can all
kaboom,
practice
but boom.
together. By the way, we're going to mention this quite a bit. More and more and more.
Correct.
As we get ready for September. And
By the way, also the Nets traded for T.J. Warren and Royce O'Neal.
yes, by the way,
Their team is pretty stacked.
it is that, sir.
I'm
Quiet
waiting,
as kept.
I'm waiting to see the odds change because they were 18-1 yesterday.
Oh, boy, that would have been a good ticket to have, right?
Yes, it would have.
Well, you're going to remove the 1 in front of that 8, right?
I gotta
At
think
least.
they're gonna be down in the 6,
Or
7.
this is unworkable.
Yeah.
You know? Or it's unworkable. Genie's back in the bottle, but somebody's going to rub that lamp one more time. And it's going to happen pretty soon during like the fourth quarter of some spot. First minute that Kyrie misses a game. First time that there's a timeout that Durant doesn't appreciate.
Right.
First time that Simmons feels a twinge. I don't know.
So they could win the title, and Steve Nash could be the first coach fired.
Well, didn't that happen to Dwayne Casey almost?
Almost. Yeah, almost.
Right? Thanks for taking us to the finals. You're out.
Bye-bye. I'm saying he get fired mid-year. Like, they're pissed at him or something, and it's like,
Right.
you gotta,
Well, then that would guarantee they don't win the title.
Right.
Why? They still have 2 of the best players in the league.
You're not making a mid-season
Well,
coaching change.
We are here
today.
on our YouTube stream, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, as well as the Audience app, streaming us coast to coast. And now, right here on the show, back here with our terrestrial radio outfit, 844-204-RICH is the number to dial here on the Rich Eisen Show. He is the head coach of Texas Longhorns football. He is none other than Steve Sarkisian here on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line. How are you, Coach?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on, guys. I didn't even know there was other sports going on in the world right now. You guys are talking NBA basketball. Man.
Yes.
I thought it was all football.
Well, you know what? I feel the same way, but then when Kevin Durant says I want to trade and then doesn't get one 54 days later and says I'm back, that's the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Got it. Okay.
What else do you need? Do you need traffic and weather together? I can do that too. I can provide that here on the twos or whatever. So that's a no. Okay. How are you, Coach? What's going on in your world? What's going on in your world?
I'm great, man. We, kind of wrapping up training camp, started school, and just getting excited for college football again. There's nothing. I love this time of year. Getting ready for the football season. Obviously, college football. High school football is cranking it up. NFL's around the corner. This is, there's nothing like the falls, and here we go. It's about that time.
Let's get into it. So your decision to go with Quinn Ewers at quarterback was based on what, Coach?
I think this with Quinn. He's a very talented young man, and he's a guy that graduated high school a year early and went to Ohio State last fall, and then came to us this spring. So we've kind of looked at him almost like his number one player in the country in this year's class if he would have stayed, but reclassified and went out. But since he's shown up, he's been a great teammate. He's been really coachable, and he's just a guy that, quite frankly, can make all the throws. He's very comfortable in our system of pushing the ball down the field. He's got a really quick release. And I like the leadership. I like what he provides. I like the way the guys respond to him when he's in the game, and I feel comfortable about the people that we have around him at the skilled spots that, he doesn't have to be the guy to make all of the plays, that they can make the plays for him. So we feel really good about it.
What is Texas affording him that, pardon me, I have to say it correctly, the Ohio State did not? What do you think, Coach Sark?
I don't know. I think it was a difficult situation. He didn't go to Ohio State last year until I think they might have already started training camp, and that's difficult. You're a true freshman. You go into a different setting with a bunch of guys that you really didn't get recruited with. You're kind of behind the eight ball trying to learn a new system. You're away from home. I think for us, naturally, he knows a lot of the guys on this team because, for being from Texas makes sense to him. Got himself an entire offseason from winter conditioning to spring ball to summer to get acclimated. I just think all in all, it's just a better setup for success. I don't think it was anything against Ohio State. I think it was just difficult for Ryan and their team to get him acclimated as quickly as they needed to, where we had months to get him prepared for it.
Steve Sarkisian, Texas Longhorns head football coach here on the Rich Eisen Show. How does one get ready for Louisiana Monroe on September 3rd when there's Alabama a week later? What do you do there, Coach Sark?
Well, I think the one thing for us, Rich, we have 35 new scholarship players out of our 85 on our roster. So we've got a lot of new faces, whether they're high school kids, whether they're transfers. So we've got to get everybody acclimated to who we are and how we go about our business. I think at the end of the day, we've got to focus on what we need to do. We recognize, we're trying to figure out Louisiana Monroe, who's got, new coordinators on both sides of the ball. We're trying to get ourselves right. We recognize, we know who's coming week 2. But if we don't put our best foot forward in week 1, if we don't start getting ourselves in a position to play at a really high level, regardless of the opponent, we're all going to feel upset about it. So we got to focus on what we need to do. It's the old adage, you take them one game at a time. But
Yes,
I think for us, I think it really is that. We're breaking in a new quarterback. We've got a lot of new faces. We've got some young players up front. So we got to make sure that we're getting our ducks aligned to have a successful season. And then as the opponents come, then you got to prepare for the opponent.
And it just so happens the opponent is Alabama, though, and a guy on whose staff you once coached, obviously, and Nick Saban. But also with Texas going to the SEC in short order, in soon order, the conversation nationally, and I'm sure your kids hear it, is that Texas is going to get stomped once they get to the SEC. And what better way to combat that than place this calling card down on September 10th? Wouldn't you say, Coach?
Well, what people say, I really don't give a crap, quite frankly. I care about us playing good football. Mm-hmm. And whether we're in the Big 12 or the SEC or Conference USA, it really doesn't matter. It's about the product and what we put on the field. And so we're focused on what we need to do. At the end of the day, people can say, I told you so, or people got to eat their words. That's up to us.
The I don't give a crap line, was that given to you by McConaughey? Did he write that down for you to bust out in an answer?
No,
to a question
but I'm
like that?
sure he'd probably say it a little more eloquently than I would. That's for sure.
I don't know about that. When was the last time you spoke to McConaughey? When was the last time you spoke to Matthew?
I spoke to him a month or so ago.
All right.
I don't know. He's been around a bit. COVID was hard on everybody of
Right.
getting connected, especially when I first got the job. But he's been around a little bit more now. Was out at the spring game. Was out when we opened the new Moody Center. So it's been great to see him. He's obviously a tremendous Longhorn.
Okay. Most important question I might ask during this entire interview, or I will. Who's got the better hair, McConaughey or Quinn Ewers? Who's got the better hair? What do you got for me?
Oh, man.
All right, evaluate. The eye in the sky doesn't lie, Coach. Come on now.
Yeah, I think McConaughey keeps his hair, kind of, I don't know what product he's got in there, but he definitely, the hair it looks nice. Quinn, he kind of just lets it go, lets it flow, and but that's kind of, I think, what we like about him. He kind of, that's the way he plays the game. He just kind of lets it rip.
Coach Steve Sarkisian, Texas football Longhorn head coach here on the Rich Eisen Show. How has NIL changed your world, Coach?
Pretty dramatically. I think for all of us in college football, and I don't think it's just NIL. I think there's been some pretty radical changes that have occurred in college football. You can talk about NIL. You can talk about the transfer portal. You can talk about conference realignment. We're in a changing times right now in the space that we operate in, and like an old boss of mine once told me, adapt or die. And there's a reason dinosaurs aren't here anymore, right? They couldn't adapt. And so we've got to continually adapt to the changing times. NIL is part of that. The transfer portal is part of that. Conference realignment is part of that. And we've got to make sure that we're doing our part as coaches to navigate through that. but never lose sight of our job is to make sure that we're putting our players in the best position to be successful. And so regardless of what they're doing off the field from an NIL perspective, regardless of what conference we're in, regardless if a guy might transfer, might not, we still got to coach him hard. We still got to put him in position to be successful.
Have you had a player, coach, come into your office or you into their living room and say, I've been offered this by one school for an NIL deal, you match it, I come to Texas? Has that happened yet to you?
Not so directly. I think people still are pretty tactful about things like that. But, you gotta read between the lines. It's like anything. You go through life, you got to have the ability to read the coverage, as I say. And if it looks like cover 2 and it smells like cover 2, it's probably cover 2. And so, now how are you going to react to those things? And I think at the end of the day, as we've been preaching and banging on, and we've been recruiting really good for the last 2 years, is we want people that want to be at the University of Texas because they love this place. They love our football program. They love the history and tradition. They love the education, the power of the degree. They love the city of Austin. Whenever I talk recruiting, NIL is on the back burner, because if you're coming here because of NIL, you're coming for the wrong reasons. Could it be something special here? We've got a great city. It's an up and coming city. The economy's tremendous. We've got a lot. The tech world is moving here. I mean, it's fantastic. But don't come play football at the University of Texas because of that. Come here because we've got a rich history and tradition. We've got a great stadium. We are going to the SEC. We've got a really good roster right now. The byproduct of that will be, maybe you'll get some NIL deals because we've got a great city to live in.
Well, I mean, but you've been around the pro game as well, Coach. I mean, it does seem like the college world is heading in that direction. It really does, just in terms of the amount of money, in terms of, Texas, Oklahoma going to the SEC. I'm sitting here in Los Angeles, another spot you used to coach in. This is Big Ten country now. I mean, it's crazy, but this is Big Ten country. Do you get that sense? Super conferences, sort of like an AFC and an NFC, is coming in college football?
I don't know. I mean, it's moving, and how far and how much we shift, I don't know. That one was, what you're talking about with SC and UCLA, having grown up in LA and having spent a lot of my career at USC, them being in the Big Ten is kind of, that one kind of shook me a little bit.
Yeah,
but
right.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, there's so much just change that's happening in college football right now. And they all seem like the biggest issue. The transfer portal seems like a huge issue. NIL seems like a huge issue. Conference realignment seems like a huge issue. How far is all this stuff going to go? The TV contracts that now are getting signed just got signed by the Big Ten, and kind of what's going to happen moving forward. These are massive issues going on. And I think, like we've been talking to our kids about, we got to focus on what's right in front of us right now and control. We can control. The powers that be are going to make the necessary decisions. Then we got to adapt to them. And, obviously you mentioned in a couple of years, we'll be going to the SEC. And what does that look like? I don't know. What I do know is we're playing in the Big 12 right now. What I do know is SC and UCLA are still in the Pac-12 right now. So we got to focus on what we can control, and that's putting our best foot forward and our best team out there on the field this year.
Well, then before I let you go, I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to chat with you before that game against Alabama, but what did you glean from Nick Saban, being around him, that you did take with you to Texas, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. Obviously, I mean, he's the greatest to ever do it. For a reason, but I think one of the things that he does a tremendous job of, he lives a very regimented, disciplined life. And what I mean by that is he's very scheduled. He knows what he's going to do, what times of the day, and in turn, that spills over into the entire organization. That spills over into the team. That they operate in a way that is very structured. It's very disciplined. That they know what is expected of them on a daily basis. And I think that's a byproduct of who Nick is as a person. That doesn't mean they don't have a lot of fun. That doesn't mean that they're not tough and physical. That doesn't mean that they don't, play fast and anything else. But I think it all stems from kind of the regimented discipline that he has in his life that then in turn kind of bleeds into the organization and to the team.
So are you saying you glean from that and then your life is more disciplined? now in Texas?
I think it was helpful. It was really good for me to kind of see it and then live it in a way that, man, this is what I do on Tuesdays at 3:00, or this is what my game planning looks like. This is when I make my recruiting calls, and then it allows everybody else. That structure allows everybody else to kind of fall in line with what you're doing, and it minimizes the unknown. It minimizes the uncertainty, and it keeps everybody, kind of time on task.
And so, what's the angriest you ever made him, Coach? What's the angriest that happened?
Wow.
You got a good one on that one?
There was one day in practice.
Mm-hmm.
We were working on kind of a big personnel, almost a short yardage type situation.
Yeah.
And I could not get the formation right that he wanted me to line up in. And man, he was upset with me because I was a new coordinator, and obviously I was instilling some things offensively that I thought would be beneficial to the team. And I clearly didn't do a good enough job of learning what they had been doing offensively, and so that was one time. We kind of still get a little bit of a chuckle about that one, but that was about the most upset I got him, and that was in practice. It was not in the game.
I don't know if you saw he got in a contract extension, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
He deserves it. He probably needs more than that. Whatever he got, I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is great whenever I get a chance to talk to him and try and pick up some things from him myself. Just talking ball with him, I can only imagine what must have been like in a meeting room. And now you'll be across the field against him in just a few weeks' time, which is something that so many people are looking forward to. College football right around the corner. Coach, I appreciate the time. Right here.
Appreciate you guys.
Let's do this again soon. Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir.
You got it. That's Coach Sark, Steve Sarkisian, Texas football. Right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Texas, Alabama, then in October, Texas A&M, Alabama. Does Alabama play Georgia? Or once again, they don't?
I don't think they do, actually.
What the hell is with that?
I'm not the SEC schedule.
But I don't understand it. How do they not play every year? What the hell?
Because
they figure that they're going to play for the championship?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Probably.
Man, I'd love Michigan to just take those times off every now and then against their top opponent.
This is not about Michigan.
No, but
you're making it about Michigan.
I am, because for some reason, Michigan every year, it's got to be Penn State, got to be Michigan State, got to be Ohio State.
They're in your division in conference.
Oh
That's how that works. Alabama, Georgia, not in the same division.
So what? We're playing Iowa. First game on the road in the Big Ten, where Big Ten seasons go to die.
You're in the top 10. That game shouldn't be close against Iowa.
But Alabama didn't play Georgia last year, right?
They played in the championship game.
Oh, my God.
What do you mean?
Come on.
Why do you need to play them twice? You want to play Ohio State twice?
No,
you don't. Exactly.
No. But I guess that's the way the SEC makes sure one of them gets through, is avoid the
Usually
two top teams playing each other.
Usually they both get through if, they're also better than everyone.
Come on. How is Alabama not playing Georgia in the regular season 2 years in a row?
I don't know what
they are in the same conference, right?
Well, what's the point?
What do you mean, what's the point? It's that they're in the same conference. You should have to play them.
They are. They play each other for the SEC championship.
But that's not a guarantee, is it?
I mean, it pretty much is.
Oh, my gosh. LSU fans want to hear from you. Let's take a break here, and when we come back, we'll talk Yankees-Mets game, but not the reason why you think I'm talking about it, though.
Because you actually won? That's not...
No.
Okay.
That is not why I'm going to talk about it. That's not why the country's talking about it. That's not why a video now currently has over 8 million views, I believe.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd skip over that, but apparently we're not.
We're not skipping over it.
I have no idea what
we're coming back here on the program. This needs to be brought to this audience and discussed.
Oh, wait, is it the guy?
Back here on the Rich Eisen Show. 844-204-RICH, number to dial.
next big thing that I booked was a show called Being Mary Jane on BET to play Gabrielle Union's love interest. And that's when I said, okay, this is pretty serious.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say,
yeah, I was like, okay, this is, and you know, when I booked the role, I had to go to Atlanta the next week on Thursday, and I was so green, and I had no classes that I looked at the script, and I didn't know there was a love scene. I didn't figure that out. I just saw my lines. I only had 6 lines, so I said, okay, I'll go up here and I'll say these 6 lines, and it'll be cool, and I'll go back. But when I got to set, when I went in the wardrobe, you know, for my outfit, they came in the room and they were like, okay, well, here's what you're wearing, and it was like this little like teabag looking thing, and I was like. So I'm like, well, what is this for? They're like, well, it's a sock. And I'm like, well, what do I do with it? And the guy's like, he looked at the other person like, how do I tell him he doesn't have like any other clothes? And I'm like kind of having a like nervous breakdown a little bit because I'm like, whoa, wait, this is not what I signed up for. Right. So, you know, we did the blocking. You're going to be here when you say this line. You're going to be here when you say this line, blah, 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 whatever. So I go back to my trailer, and I know I wasn't supposed to do this, but I was so like just... that I had like the assistant, I'm like, listen, can you take me to the store real quick? They took me to the store, and I had like a shot. Like I had to get a shot. That's how like uncomfortable I was because
of alcohol.
Yes. Okay. And I'm being honest because I was that uncomfortable because it hit me like you're really acting, man. Like you know, like this isn't just like some game you're playing.
So how did it go when you? If it's safe for work,
it went. I mean, listen, I had 6 lines. Fortunately, and they weren't really, it wasn't really a lot of dialogue. So, and then the character was something that I was comfortable enough with because I could just act like, what would I do in this situation? Right. It wasn't like this layered, complex character. And then the love scenes were, you know, I mean, obviously everything was super professional. Gabrielle's one of the best in the business, and she was very, you know, patient and understood what was going on. But I was like, okay, I know how to do this part. So, you know, let me make sure at least this part I can do. The other part I might look stupid, but this part I can't look stupid. And it came out great. And after I did that episode, I had 2 more episodes, and that was like, what do they call it? Scared Straight? You know, it was a show Scared. Yeah. That scared me into like, you need to get some acting classes before you make a fool out of yourself and ruin your whole name.
Well, you needed a drink. I now need a smoke.
Oh my gosh.
Thomas Jones back in studio in just a couple hours from now right here on the show. When Callaway engineered Chrome Soft to be the best tour ball, it didn't just make the best players better, it made everyone better. Men, women, first-time major winners, repeat major winners, club champions, business golfers, everybody, including me. The Chrome Soft family's got the best tour performance for every type of performance. I use the regular Chrome Soft, designed for the widest range of golfers who want better feel, more distance, and incredible forgiveness. I use the triple track technology. I love those lines on the golf ball. It just actually makes me putt better. I feel
love
better.
It for putting. It's perfect.
It is great. I do love it. Chrome Soft X provides excellent spin consistency and tour level short game control for better players looking for more workability. And finally, the Chrome Soft XLS gives you that lower spin golf ball on longer shots, firmer feel, but still with a high spin around the greens if the U is somebody who's pretty damn good at golf. Now every Chrome Soft is enhanced with precision technology, which uses design techniques and manufacturing specs up to 1/1000th of an inch. Look, when you add it all up, it's pretty simple. Chrome Soft is better for the best and better for everyone. Find out which Chrome Soft is right for you at CallawayGolf.com/Chrome Soft. Tim in New Jersey, let's take his phone call here on the Rich Eisen Show at 844-204-RICH. What's up, Timothy?
Hey, Rich, long-time listener, first-time caller.
Hey,
how are you today?
Where you been? What exit are you from, Tim?
Originally, I'm from exit 17 off the Parkway.
Okay.
Not the Turnpike, but now I'm down by Philly, so I'm exit 4 off the Turnpike.
Oh, so right around where Dr. Oz lives.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I lived in Philly for about 13 years and then moved out to
Sounds interesting.
Southern Jersey.
Okay, sure. So what's on your mind?
Well, I don't know. You know, sometimes I have a hard time interpreting these Jets games, and you know, I know there's a lot of hype around preseason, but I just wanted to kind of pick your brain on the first half of the Jets-Falcons game. And so there's obviously a lot of narratives going on with Zach Wilson going down, Flacco having to come in and kind of be the starter. then we wanted to probably, I would imagine, get our second and third string guys like a lot more work, assuming that we may need some depth this season. But like, how did you interpret the quality of the offense and defense in the first half versus the quality in the second half?
Wow. Look at you, Tim. Here's the thing. I'll be honest with you, man. I only watched it. I was flipping back and forth between Jets, Falcons, and Mets, Yanks. Because right now, my Yanks need my support. And I'm locked in on that, and I'm particularly nervous about the way things are going there. And the Jets, in a preseason game against the Falcons, here's the way I look at it, Tim, is that clearly they need Zach Wilson to get back soon. They're not making the playoffs, and also, with the ultimate of respect to Mike White and Joe Flacco, we need to see Garrett Wilson evaluated properly and Breece Hall evaluated properly, and we need to see the rest of the offense take a step forward, and that's got to happen with Zach Wilson. We got to get him back out there and healthy and see what he can do and go through whatever lumps he's going to go through, or heaven forbid, he can take a literal step and then a monster figurative step forward. That said, I am really bullish on the Jets defense. How does that sound? I'm trying to control myself. But I look at Sauce Gardner and I see a defensive rookie of the year. I just do. I see a guy that's not going to get thrown at. I see a guy that's going to actually not get thrown at and help that pass rush. Jermaine Johnson looks really good. The rest of that pass rush, I think, is much improved. And I just think that kid in the back of the defense taking away what he's going to take away. And I think the first couple of opponents from the AFC North, because the Jets are in the AFC North for the first month of the season, they might test him. They might throw in his direction, and I think that's going to be a mistake, and I think a lot of teams are going to learn that fast, and I think he is going to be not just an anchor on the field, but in the locker room and in the community. I am so high on Sauce Gardner, but anybody who takes in the show knows that I've been that since I saw him physically in person for the first time at the Combine and pounded the table for him until I heard his name, thankfully, in Las Vegas to the Jets. That's the way I'm looking at him. How does that
thanks
sound?
so much. Yeah, I'm super bullish on Ahmad Gardner, too, because
you got to call him Sauce. You got to call him Sauce, Tim.
No, he doesn't get the sauce, right, until he gets his first 6-6 in the regular season.
Well, you know what? That's the Luke Fickle way of looking at it. I appreciate you taking in the show, Tim. Thanks. Call back. Let's chat. I like that. That's good. But he's Sauce here.
Sauce.
Planet Sauce.
Sauce.
Right.
You weren't watching fourth quarter mop-up time?
I was not. No, I was too busy watching the Yanks and the Mets.
He wanted you to really break down the preseason game with third stringers, man.
I love it.
Wait, what?
I was watching just to see what the final score was.
What? For the
of the football game.
Did you really wager on that?
I did
game?
not, actually.
Okay, good for you.
Would it surprise you if he did, though?
No.
Yeah.
Yanks Mets, big game. Yanks needed it. They got it. They actually beat Max Scherzer. Judge actually homered off of Max Scherzer after having a dreadful appearance against Max Scherzer in Queens a couple weeks ago. But that's not what most of the country and everybody's taking out from this game.
I know what you're
talking
about.
I'm a diehard Yankee fan. I grew up in Yankee Stadium. I've seen all types. I have seen all types on the 4 train. I've seen all types in the bleachers. I've seen all types. My friends and I, in the Stump Merrill Yankee years, used to get general admission seats, which is like in the top 5 rows of the stadium. We went right behind home plate. I saw the bird's eye view. It was amazing. I went to Bat Day as a kid. I did all sorts of stuff. Okay, I've been there and done that. I have seen all types. And just when you thought you've seen them all, dude. I'm a 53-year-old man. I've never seen this before. Amazing. This man needs to be identified. He is poking a hole, using his straw into the tops and bottoms of a hot dog, and then sucking the meat out of the straw, and then placing the straw away. And then now that there is a tube in the tube of the hot dog, he is sipping his beer through the hot dog. Now, I've heard about, hey, you go to the game, let's have a hot dog and a beer. Not a hot dog in the beer, using the hot dog as a conveyance to consume the beer. I've never seen this before. I don't understand it. But at least he doesn't take the innards part of the hot dog, doesn't go to waste. He sucks it out of the straw.
Yeah, can't waste.
Just in case, what, he wants to use the straw later? I mean, I don't
never
understand.
know. Yeah, you never know.
And then places it in the beer, like in front of others, like he's in public. Like, sir, people can see you.
Genius.
People can see you do this.
Hey, by the way, genius move? I mean,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why?
I wish I thought of that first.
Does the beer taste better sucking it through the hot dog?
Probably. Those are two of my favorite things put together. I can't wait to
I know
try
a
that.
hot dog and a beer is the classic combination. You go to the game, I'm going to have a hot dog and a beer.
Dog and a beer.
You eat the hot dog and you drink the beer. You don't pop a hole through the hot dog, suck out the meat from the straw, place the straw away, pause. Then you don't go ahead and use the hot dog to consume your beer through the hot dog. Your mother's watching, sir. So all together, this human being, and I will ask anybody who wants to chime in, 844-204-RICH. You want to put it on Twitter?
Yeah.
Genius? Madman. Those are the two choices.
Right,
Is this person a genius or a madman? He's a madman. That's what I choose. Hannibal Lecter would do this if he was somehow free and at a baseball game. That's like the fava bean in the nice Chianti. You don't poke a hole through the fava bean and consume the Chianti. That guy is a madman.
All right, it's up on Twitter at Rich Eisen Show. Dude at Yankees last night drinking a beer through a hot
public,
dog.
like do that in your own home.
Genius.
Get a room.
I'm at the point now where every time I see something like this, I go, this isn't real, and they're just doing this to try to make a viral video.
Of course, I saw this on John Boy Media.
Yeah, me too.
And so the point is that gives you pause that says maybe this is a setup is because the camera was trained on this individual from start to finish, which makes me think either A, it's a setup, or B, that wasn't his first hot dog, straw, and beer
of the night.
Of the night.
I never took that into consideration.
Wait a minute, he got another hot dog and another beer. I need to get my phone out.
Film this.
Here we go.
It's a glizzy straw.
And then he did it again.
He did it again.
Which means he's a gluttonous madman.
At least he didn't add relish or anything.
Oh.
I mean, normally
isn't it Nathan's hot dog? What kind of hot dogs are
I don't know. Games? By the way, speaking on behalf of Judaism, definitely not kosher. To put a hot dog in a beer.
Kosher beer, maybe.
I don't think so.
I don't think that exists.
Yeah, is that a thing?
That's mixing. That's mixing kosher and non-kosher.
I'm asking you guys. There's 50%.
I don't
of the
believe.
room
Let's just put it this way. I do not believe that was blessed by a rabbi.
What if he's a rabbi?
I don't think so either, sir.
I doubt that.
I'm just throwing out
but that is
possibilities.
bold. That is bold. Like, I'm in public.
I got a hot dog.
What's the first time he's ever done this?
This is not.
This is clearly not his first rodeo.
Not his
Yeah,
first
but
time.
the way that whole
rodeo.
thing was set up, he had his whole thing down. Like, you're right. He's done that multiple times. It's not his first rodeo.
Not his first Yankees game too, probably. So someone just noticed and was like,
Last time we saw something viral from Yankee Stadium in the stands, it was a chiropractor from upstate New York who was wearing a Mets hat and a Red Sox.
Yeah, that was weird.
Right?
Yep.
And we're like, why are you going to a Yankee game dressed like that? And it was paying off a bet. That guy called in. We need to find out this individual, and I need to hear from you, sir. I need an explanation.
He might be in witness protection after that.
I mean, look at this. Poking a hole. By the way, impressive. It just takes 2 stabs at it to create an entire tube.
Again,
That's what I'm saying. He's a pro at this.
Not his
Right.
first time.
Right?
Not his first
And
time.
look, not even a
wait
wince.
wait a minute. He was poking considerably on either side, and that's what got somebody to say, like, he's not going to really drink
Yeah,
through
like,
it, is
what
he?
is this guy doing? I need to film this.
Yeah, that's a good point, too.
I can't wait to try
Many
that.
questions, but there's only one answer. Madman. Madman.
Okay, Jay, can you try this tonight? And
Absolutely.
Film yourself, and then we can play this tomorrow. You're here the rest of the week, right?
Yep. I think I'm here for 2 or 3 weeks.
We got to get... really? I was told the rest of this week and part of next. I
Yeah, that
wasn't
is what you
told
were
about
told.
a third week.
I'll let you know.
That was the highest register of all time.
Really? Really? I mean, you got to get a sturdy straw.
Yeah, none of those paper straws. That ain't working.
Because a soggy hot dog ain't going to work as a straw itself. And
What's the strangest thing you've used as a straw?
What?
Like I've used Twizzlers before.
Yeah, Twizzlers as a straw for sure.
I've done that multiple times.
That's about it. I mean, what else?
Not a
has
dog.
a hole in it.
I mean, what the hell?
That was so strange, man.
Now that I think about it, okay, I would do. Just trying to think of weird stuff I would use as a straw. You know those like long twist donuts?
Okay.
I would put a hole in that and drink a milkshake out of that.
But
you wouldn't last, though,
it wouldn't
man.
last because it doesn't, at least the hot dog has got a hard casing around it.
Okay, that's true.
So
All
the
right.
liquid is not going to defray the conveyance.
You get like 2 good sips out of that.
Okay. I'm just throwing out ideas here.
I know.
What about, like, well, you couldn't put a hole in, like, what, pretzel rod?
Oh.
That would work.
That's possible.
Yeah, but that's like.
But you also got
really
to really dig in
Yeah,
there.
you would have to use, like,
This
an
guy
actual
was just
drill.
like 1, 2, in the beer, done.
Not his first time. I need to know when this started.
You know who I'd like to get an opinion on this is, why am I blanking on his name?
Joey Chestnut?
Joey Chestnut.
I got you.
You two spend a lot of time together.
Yeah. How about that? That's impressive.
You literally just said,
play,
you know who?
I know. We should.
But when you think hot dogs, you should think Joey Chestnut.
That's the one.
So,
Yeah.
Or Kobayashi, right?
Kobayashi.
Kobayashi,
One or the
yeah.
other. Or Badlands Booker, one of those guys.
We should get Joey Chestnut. What does he think? Does he think even this is beyond the pale?
Yeah, because you think
Does
about
Joey
it.
Chestnut think this is defiling the hot dog?
'Cause you think
even
about it.
this, somebody who just masticates.
That's true. All
in
right,
the
hold on
most
a second. I'm gonna
unwatchable
tweet.
manner
Let's see.
possible.
Because when they do those
By the way, that's a
contests,
real word there.
they take the dogs, they dip them in what looks like water, and then they eat them to make them.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'm gonna.
he's
What
done.
if he just starts sipping the water through it and
I'm
just say,
gonna-
screw it, I'm going to blow the competition, but I'm just going to.
All right, I'm gonna tag Joey Chestnut and ask for a ruling.
I want to hear from him.
Joey Chestnut's
I want to
like
hear
throwing
from
it.
the madman. Hour 1 in the books.
Get a sound check.
Aha! Hit the drop.
I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
What was Gruden thinking?
If you don't know what to do, you won't play here. Knock on wood if you're with me, okay?
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
What was Gruden thinking? Are you kidding me? How do you turn that down? What are you thinking?
Earlier on the show, Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian. Coming up, Saints defensive end Cameron Jordan, actor and former NFL running back Thomas Q. Jones. And now, it's It's Rich Eisen.
Yes, it is. 844-204-RICH, number to dial here on youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, which is where we are going to be able to be seen from here until the day that we're on the Roku channel, starting to stream every single day in September, where we will also, like today's program, be free. Every single day for free on Roku devices, Samsung, Smart TV, Fire TV, your mobile device, the RokuChannel.com for those of us new who want to have a desktop way to watch this show for free starting in September. We're here on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show until that very day. Of course, we're still here on this Rich Eisen Show terrestrial radio affiliate that is kind enough to have us and partner with us, and we greatly appreciate those at Westwood One and the Cumulus Network, putting this in front of your ear gate. The same thing with our podcast, where all podcasts can be acquired through the Cumulus Podcast Network. We say hello to those streaming us on Odyssey as well. Thomas Q. Jones, 10,000-yard rusher, is a professional running back in this league now, a professional actor in studio. Hour number 3, his show Johnson, season number 2, is airing Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on Bounce, with encores the next day streaming on Brown Sugar. He'll be here in studio in hour number 3. We already chatted with Steve Sarkisian of Texas football. Later on in this hour, I'm going to reveal my top 5 most intriguing teams, fascinating teams. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but they're just fascinating to me entering the 2022 NFL season. And, of course, there's you at 844-204-RICH, number to dial. He's one of our favorites on this program, and I've said that even though when he wasn't on hold getting ready to join this program, correct? Can you confirm that? You can confirm that, right, Chris?
I can confirm that.
We love this guy from the New Orleans Saints, a perennial Pro Bowler. He's one of the best in the business and a favorite of ours on the Mercedes-Benz Vans phone line. Cameron Jordan back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How you doing, Cam?
I'm great. When I heard you throw the word actor out there, I said, I don't have that accolade yet. I need that in my life.
Do you want that? You know, DK Metcalf says he's taking acting lessons on his off days. Did you know that? That's what he told us.
I thought he already did that with some of the penalties he asked for.
Cam Jordan, everybody, has entered the chat.
Cam.
Cam Jordan has entered the chat on the Rich Eisen Show. Who's the okay, let's get into it. Then who's the worst actor in the NFL on the field? What do you got for me?
Man, I don't know. Look, it's got to be offensive linemen, right? Because they hold so much, and then they always look at the ref bewildered when they actually get a holding call.
That's true. Or it's the worst ones are the ones who raise their hands like I didn't do it, which is an indication that they absolutely did it, right? The offensive linemen that hold and then put their hands up like, oh, I didn't do it, which is a way of saying, look at me, I just held, right? Isn't that?
Then I might have to take that role too, because after you hit a quarterback, once he's released the ball, you don't even get 0.1 seconds anymore. So after you tap him, you throw your hands up immediately like, I didn't do it, I didn't mean to. Please forgive me.
I don't know, but doesn't that call attention to what you just did, Cam? Like
it probably does.
Maybe you should just be casual about it, you know? Like, right. Yeah, I did it.
Be a lot more smooth about it. Absolutely.
Yes. If you're smooth about it, that means they're not going to see it. They might have think, was that a hit? I don't know. Oh, he put his arms up like he didn't do it. I'm throwing a flag. I think you might be calling attention.
Yeah. See, I was, in my mind, it's like, hey, I'm letting you know that I realize I might have taken a step too far, and I'm asking for leniency with the hands thrown up. Like, I could have murdered the quarterback, but I didn't. I let him go.
You know what? I'm also having this conversation with you, Cameron Jordan, is because I'm trying to, I guess, refurbish my reputation as understanding line play after I went all in on Twitter saying the hit on Kayvon Thibodeau by Thaddeus Moss was illegal and he should be fined and suspended. And it was a perfectly legal hit. What did you think of that hit on Kayvon Thibodeau, Cam Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, as a I say it's one of those bad positions to be in as defensive end. He shot up the field, tried to readjust, didn't know exactly what he wanted to do with the tight end, and that split second of indecision that can, luckily I think, his body is resilient enough where he was able to bounce back, because it was just, like I said, that split second of indecision can always put you in a bad position.
So what do you do when you're in that position, when you see it?
Destroy tight ends. You got to match pass. You got to be able to level with it. Depends on what he was doing. If he's trying to, keep leverage and box the tight end, he just got to lower those pads. Let's be real. I mean, at defensive end, we've got a lot of chances to be hit and be pulled on.
So,
but
yes.
it's just one of those parts of the game that you have to be ready for at all times.
No.
It looked like he was not ready.
So that's what I'm also gleaning from the conversation over the last 24 hours is people are saying, certainly people who play defense for a living are saying that's what Thaddeus Moss is coached to do. That was the play that he was supposed to make. And Thibodeau was just a young buck who didn't handle it properly. Is that accurate?
Like I said, that split second of indecision. And whether you want to box it or you want to spill it, or you want to match pads, or you want to drop the opposite arm, depends on what you're being coached. But trying to figure out what you're going to do, that doesn't happen. So and luckily it's a preseason game, and it didn't lead to severe injury. So he's got a chance to correct those mistakes in the future.
Cameron Jordan here on the Rich Eisen Show. And before we move on to another topic specific to your team, I did have Mike Pereira, the current rules analyst on Fox and former head of NFL refs, on to explain why that is a legal block and that the competition committee is beginning to think otherwise. Would you be fine if that block was made illegal in the NFL, Cam?
No, it's football. I want most of these hits to still be there. I mean, they keep making this closer and closer to a two-hand touch game. What is it? DBs can't cut if you're in the box. If you got off the line and pull anymore, like that's part of the game. Now, some of those aspects can go when you talk about high lows versus a defensive lineman. I mean, that's one of those things that definitely should have gone. But some of these you have to be, as an athlete, you have to be able to take this risk in terms of the game. I mean, it's football. I grew up watching, Reggie White hand out concussions to the offensive linemen. I was excited about, you've seen Chris Dolman and John Randall out there mauling offensive linemen. That was fun of it. Now you have to, be aware that you can't have offensive lineman head jerk back on a bull rush. Hell, we can't even really call it a bull rush anymore, on a power move. The game is a little bit softer than it was back then.
Cam Jordan, all-pro defensive end of the New Orleans Saints, here on the Rich Eisen Show. All right, so now how are things different in the post-Sean Payton era, Dennis Allen era for you in training camp and getting ready for the season, Cam? What's the difference?
In terms of training camp, we are still in New Orleans and outside in the heat working. So there's not much changing from day to day. I mean, we were blessed to go up to Green Bay and practice against them for a couple of days and see one of the greatest to do it, lace it up with Aaron Rodgers. And, I think that was great work for our ones versus their ones those first couple of days. And then, that 65 degrees in August, I was upset about. Because I'm like, where is it this cold in the middle of August? Where I'm from in Arizona, it'll never get this cold. And out here in New Orleans, it's not a chance to be this cold. So, we had a rude awakening when we went back to New Orleans, and it was 95 with 100% humidity again.
Well, I guess I should have been a little bit more specific with my question as opposed to getting the weather report. How is Dennis Allen different from Sean Payton? I'm just going to hit the nail right on the head. How is he different?
I mean, I've got a defensive-minded head coach. Now when a defense comes out and beats down on the offense, you knew you were going to reset, the tempo there. You're going to have to, reset whatever phase we're in, whether it's run period, pass period. If it gets too out of hand, you start the period over. Now, we don't start periods over. we challenge towards the next period.
Okay, so the script is flipped, so to speak, on that front, is what you're saying.
I'm not mad
pretty
at it.
much.
I mean, come 2-minute drill, they still don't really call sacks, but that's all coaches. they make us stressful.
How does Jameis look to you then? How's he looking?
Jameis is looking healthy, and if he can play like he did at the beginning of last year, we're going to be in a lot of great positions to put ourselves in a winning spot.
I guess then.
I can't guarantee 17 wins, but I'm a gun for all 17.
I got it. I hear you. And then Michael Thomas, does he look similar to you, to the can't guard Michael Thomas that you can let us know about, Cam?
Absolutely. I'm gonna continue calling him can't guard Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he's at practice, when he was against Green Bay, he was doing everything that we would call him doing from a year and a half ago. I mean, Mike T healthy is still unstoppable to me.
And then, I had your former teammate, Malcolm Jenkins, here in studio, and I asked him, now that he's out of the game, about why the Saints are able to perform defensively against Tom Brady in a manner that others have trouble doing. Why are you so successful? And he talked about the matchups of the corners just are in the favor of the Saints, and that helps you and the rest of your teammates get home. Do you think you can replicate that coming up this year?
I could work off that for sure. It's not that it's Tom Brady and his all-star cast that they keep getting rebuffed and added to every year. We talk about they had Mike Evans, they had Chris Godwin, they added Russell Gage, they bring in Julio Jones. I mean, I don't know how much more of a star-studded cast it can become. They add Kyle Rudolph, Akeem Hicks on defense. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's a part of the team. We're focused on the New Orleans Saints. So the Saints have always been the front runners of the conference in my mind. So it doesn't matter if it's Atlanta, Tampa, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. If Drew Brees had decided to go be a part of the team, the Saints as a whole are geared to try and win this division each and every year. So it doesn't matter the opponent.
So how good do you think you can be? I mean, serious, real talk here. How good do you think this team can be this year?
I need to see live bullets before I make these assumptions that we're before I say we're going to go 17-0. But I mean, I think that every fight that we go into, I think we have a great chance to win them. And then 2-3 games in the situation, we'll have a callback, and I can tell you confidently how well I feel about the team.
Okay. And how much?
I definitely like what I see at practice.
How much longer do you want to play? What are you thinking about here, Cam Jordan?
I wouldn't go Tom Brady on you. I'm not going to be playing into my 50s. But I definitely think that I've got about 5 years left. I'm going to say 5.
Okay. And I thought when you said you're not going to be Tom Brady, that means you're not taking a couple of weeks off during training camp. I thought that's what you meant by that.
Oh, no. That's, with all due respect, I think somebody like Tom Brady could show up week 1 and do just fine.
I agree.
I've seen other players. I've seen Aaron Donald show up week 1 and go for 12.5 sacks in a season. When a vet knows how to play, especially when you're one of the best to ever play your position, I think that training camp is for younger players.
They're younger guys. Yeah, I know. I thought maybe you were hoping he would show up week 3, so you didn't have to see him week 2. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, who's behind him?
Yeah.
They might delay the game just to get Tom Brady in there.
And you're going to London too. You ready for that one? Have you played in London yet? Have you done that yet?
We played in London. Yeah. We skunked Jay Cutler when he was part of Miami.
Why you got to call him out like that? You could have said you beat Miami. Why you got to call him out?
It's rare to ever goose egg somebody, So
Yeah.
Tom Brady and Jay Cutler are up there for me.
Okay. You just said those names in the same sentence. That just happened. Cam. Wow.
It's the 2 games I can recall that, defense held them to not a touchdown.
Okay. All right, Cam Jordan. Are you doing a podcast again or you're not? Are you out of that game?
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing?
Trust Levels, Season 3, me, Mark Ingram. We've got phenomenal guests. I just name drop a couple that you guys might know. Jarvis Landry.
Heard of him. It's on your team.
Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Famous Jameis is that.
So you're booking your teammates. Is that what you're saying? You're booking your teammates? Is that what you're doing?
I'm doing Amari Cooper.
Okay. He's on the Browns. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We've definitely got some heavy hitters this Trust Level Season 3. We finished up and we're geared up towards dropping it in the next couple of weeks, I think.
Here in California, Cam, you've spent some time here in California, right? Here in California, people say, "Oh yeah, I'll do your podcast," and don't mean it. And then there are people who say, "Oh yeah, I'll have you on my podcast," and then they don't mean it. I mean it when I say I'll do your podcast. I'm beginning to wonder if you don't mean it when you say, "Yeah, I'll have you on mine." I don't. I'm beginning to. It's Season 3. And I'm beginning to wonder if I'm really somebody who can be trust on the level that you are putting out there. I'll be honest.
On the biggest levels of trust, we're going to eventually get there. I just feel like, again, we have to have like a Pro Bowl, all-pro level caliber of a podcast before we go to one of the one of the greats.
Oh, boy.
I mean, it's Rich Eisen the show, Rich Eisen podcast. I mean, we understand who you are, Rich.
See, this is now.
We can't come to you humbly.
This is, again, another Los Angeles thing. So you don't want me on your podcast. It's okay. You could just come out and say it. Just say, you know what, Rich, you don't fit. You don't fit. You could say it.
No. We're never going to say that. We're going to say we are reaching that territory where I feel like I'm going to be able to be like, hey, Rich, come on over. I feel like we've had the amount of guests, guys like Brandon Marshall who are, hit everything that you need to. We've talked to some legends, and now we need another legend.
Okay.
You'll be the one we call.
Cam Jordan, I thank you for the time. You be well. Let's do this again soon, brother. You're the best.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on.
That's Cam Jordan here on The Rich Eisen Show.
Love Cam Jordan, dude. That guy is just awesome. And you know what, TJ? It's one of those things like when he's done playing football, which he said in 5 years, but let's be honest, he could keep playing probably as long as he wants. You're just excited for what he's going to do next. Like, is he going to get into our world? Is he going to have his own show? Is he going to get on TV? Is he going to do games? Is he going to be an analyst? Is he going to be in studio? Like, sky is totally the limit for this dude, and I just love when he comes on.
Yeah, he's got that personality that just, whether you're a Saints fan or not, you're just kind of drawn to Cam, and we've gotten to know him a little bit, and, he's got an ill sneaker game, which you and I appreciate.
Yep.
But he's that guy who, like, maybe like Strahan, maybe like, Gronk, his career after football, it's going to be fun and it's going to be worthwhile.
He could go acting, too. Why not?
Yeah.
He had me at Jay Cutler.
You were like, you put them in the same sentence.
Wow. All right, let's take a break here on the Rich Eisen Show. When we come back, more of your phone calls, 844-204-RICH, number to dial. And the top 5 teams most fascinating to me entering 2022.
Oh.
Some of them are not what you think. That's coming up next. Defensive end of the New Orleans Saints and Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee from New Orleans, Cameron Jordan. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on.
Of course, right here in person. Now, this is your hometown, correct?
This is my birthplace.
Okay. All right, so walk me through what we're talking about.
Pops played for the Vikings for 13 years, so me and my siblings were born in Eden Prairie.
Okay.
Well, actually, St. Louis Park, if we're going to be exact.
Okay.
Grew up in Eden Prairie till I was in first grade.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, left Minnesota and been in Arizona ever since.
Okay, so your dad, Steve Jordan, played 13 years for the Minnesota Vikings. What's your first football memory?
It's not a good memory. I mean, it was like it hadn't been like an away game because we were out in the cold, and it was a lot of whining going on, probably from our way to our godfather, about getting hot dogs or something silly. And then, of course, after the game, we had gone to the car, and the car locks had frozen, so we were sort of stuck outside of.
What would that be, like Green Bay? Could it have been?
That's what I'm saying. It had been somewhere else, so you probably call it, Yeah, it had been a frozen tundra.
Okay, so did you see when we were growing up, like I want to play football like my dad? Did you see that?
No. I grew up trying to play basketball like Allen Iverson, like everybody else growing up, right? And then something about these wide shoulders and
there's
my
nothing
body
Iverson
frame.
about it at all.
There was nothing point guardish about this. My dad jokes about it now, but he was that dad. He's like, I hate to be that father just to make you play football. And then as he dropped me off, and in my mind, he drove off and never looked back. as I sat there with these shoulder pads. He was clearly right.
Right. And so did you try to be a tight end like your dad? Or?
Of course not. I tried to fight him on every level. I tried to stall out and not play football at all, like sit on the sideline while guys were practicing. I tried to be I was like, I don't want to play offense at all. I tried, probably playing linebacker. That was not my wave. I ended up being an offensive tackle. And then I made myself a defensive end once I got to my junior year in high school.
Okay, because the story that I heard is that your dad asked you if you wanted to play tight end, and your response as a child was what?
Was no thank you, sir.
Yeah, or something like, wow.
Father, I love you, I adore you dearly, but I have to decline this notion.
No, he said, why would I want people to hit me when I can be the one delivering the hit?
That would make perfect sense.
Sounds like a Cal Berkeley guy.
Nobody wants to get bullied. So
okay,
why not be the bully?
I like it. Fun stuff back in the day and just now with Cam Jordan of the New Orleans Saints. Back here on the Rich Eisen Show, 844-204-RICH, number to dial. If you don't know your numbers, then you don't know your business. It's true when your business is growing fast, and even more true when there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know if you saw the Dow dropped about 600 the other day.
I noticed.
Inflation's running wild. Supply chains are clogged. Labor market can be tight. What does that mean for margins? Not every business, though, is in the dark. Over 31,000 businesses know their numbers because they use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, planning, budgeting, and, of course, inventory, so you can manage risk, get reliable forecasts, and improve margins. Everything you need all in one place. So NetSuite helps you identify rising costs, automate your manual processes, as well as see where you can save your money. Look, know your numbers, know your business, and get to know how NetSuite can be the source of truth for your entire company. Check it out right now. NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/richradio. Don't forget to send the Rich Radio out there. Head to netsuite.com/richradio right now. netsuite.com/richradio. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial. Christopher, what do you got for me on that poll question as it currently stands?
All right, here we go, guys. We talked about the epic story coming out of New York last night. Dude at the Yankees game last night drinking a beer through a hot dog. Genius or a madman? He's a madman, guys. 82%.
Yeah, I like it. You're in the 18%, brother.
Definitely.
Are you going to do that tonight?
I absolutely going to do that tonight.
So what you're going to do is you're going to grill a hot dog? You got to grill it.
I was going to boil it, but I'll grill it.
Boil it.
Oh.
I like boiled hot dogs.
Okay.
Don't judge me.
However you want to eat the hot dog, it just needs to have a hole in it.
All right.
Okay. So
you gonna film it? You got to film all this.
Yeah. My roommate's cameraman, so I already texted him.
I don't even think that level of expertise is necessary
I'm
for
going
this.
all out. I'm excited.
No, we want a full production out of this.
What type of straw are you going to use? You can't use a paper one. That's what you get a lot of. That's what you get a lot around here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, no.
That's true. You could actually
get the
too.
supply.
If you have a skewer maybe for the grill, you could just like.
No. You got to do the straw. You got to basically.
Oh, you're just recreating?
Excuse me.
You just need to put a hole in a hot dog.
Chris, did you or did you not see Apollo 13?
It's been a while.
Okay.
But yes,
they had to use what's up in the LEM down on Earth in order to build what they needed to build to get the LEM and the astronauts home.
I understand.
So you can only use what was available to this guy in Yankee Stadium.
All right, so plastic straw, I'm assuming.
That's what it looks like right there.
Screw the turtles. Plastic.
See it? And again, this guy all it took was 2 punctures and then in a beer. And he is nuts. How are people not turning around and looking at him like, what?
Well,
did he go to the game by himself?
But how does this end? Does he eat the hot dog after? You have to,
Great
right?
questions.
I'm going
gotta
to.
That's the sequel.
Yes. But Rich, it's like New York. You get on the subway, you see weird stuff, you don't react because
that's true.
Weird stuff happens in New York.
That's weird. That's weirder than what I've seen
You know
on the
what I mean?
subway in many places.
I bet that's not even the weirdest thing that happened last night in the ballpark.
Yeah, actually, the Yankees got runs off of Max Scherzer.
Yeah, the Yankees won the game.
Well,
the
you know
Yankees
why?
beat Max Scherzer.
Because Scherzer has this DGAF attitude. Like, he's going to throw Aaron Judge a pitch that he knows he shouldn't throw him just because he's Max and he's not going to give in to him.
He
did.
But he owned Aaron Judge in Queens. Owned him. And as a matter of fact, struck him out in his first at-bat, made him look silly.
Yeah, well, last night, he almost took him for a ride twice.
Smitch just texted, he's going to the Dodger game tonight. Should he try it tonight with a Dodger dog?
A Dodger dog is too thin, and it's too long, and it's too soggy.
I mean, you won't know until you try it.
Sorry. So, but Sean, yes.
Yes.
You try it tonight at a Dodger game, but it's really, you got to get a very long straw.
Also,
a Dodger dog is thinner and longer than what the Yankees are serving.
The Dodger Stadium got to be paper, though.
That's true, too.
By the way, you could snap the Dodger dog in half and then stick your straw in, and then...
I just don't know if the straw is going to be strong enough to create the hole.
But I think he should and see the reaction he gets in Dodger Stadium.
He might get beat up. Don't desecrate the Dodger dog like that.
Who are they playing? Oh, the Brewers? Oh, the Brewers take their beer and dogs very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
Very seriously.
You know somebody's done that in a Brewer game, right?
I've never seen this before. I don't know.
Madman. An absolute madman. He really should go to a maximum security prison and have Clarice Starling go interview
Jimmy
him.
McGillis?
Trying to find out what's in his
Clarice.
brain. Clarice, somebody from the FBI should show up and query this man to see what's in his brain.
Funny.
Truly puts the lotion in the basket, that guy.
Oh, goodness.
Okay. 844-204-RICH is the number to dial right here on the program. So, top 5 teams that fascinate me going into the NFL season.
So this could be any level. We could think there will be at the bottom. It could be anywhere from the Seahawks to the Bills.
It's
right?
based on what changes have come.
Okay.
And what expectations have been placed upon the team.
Okay.
And how entertaining they can be. And how their season plays out fascinates me. And I think can fascinate the league as well. You can make a case that all 32 teams are fascinating in its own way.
Of course.
Its own little snowflake. Like, for instance, Jacksonville, not on my list, fascinating to me because of what Doug Peterson can do for this team in the mere fact that he's not Urban Meyer, and he also won a Super Bowl. And it involves a quarterback who many people know because he was number 1 overall and had a terrific college career. But I just don't know how fascinating Jacksonville is overall, with all due respect to the good folks of Duval County.
Of course.
So I need music. I need music, please.
All right.
I appreciate you getting that ready for me. I've got the 5 most fascinating teams to me entering 2022. And you start with number 5, working our way up. This team lost a major player on offense, a big-time playmaker on offense that many people consider such a game changer for the quarterback, despite his incredible talent, that they are no longer going to be as perennially good at this brand of football and certainly on offense any longer. I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. Guy who's, cover Madden, right? He's been on the cover of Madden. Everybody loves him. He's on everybody's fantasy team. There's some coordinator somewhere who wouldn't put his name to the statement that he plays street ball, some sort of stupidity like that.
When his first read isn't there.
But his first read has been Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek Hill's not there anymore. And what will that do to this Chiefs offense? And who's going to step up? And there's Juju Smith-Schuster, and there's Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and a lot of people think that's not enough. Or it's going to be Sky Moore, this kid Justin Watson. Who are they? What are they going to do? And despite the fact that they do have Jerick McKinnon and Ronald Jones at the running back position behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire, everyone thinks Andy Reid's going to finally get got on offense. How will this team do this year? A lot of people think they're not going to win the division because of how good the division is. Chiefs are, you're one of them. You're one of them.
I am.
Chiefs are fascinating to me. They're fun to watch. They're going to have as many, I would think, people on your fantasy team and your fantasy league than most teams anyway still. Chiefs are number 5, most fascinating team to me on the list. Number 4 is the defending world champion Los Angeles Rams. They're not getting a lot of talk right now because I think people believe that Stafford's hurt and last year could have been a fluke. They added they added Allen Robinson to this team. Allen Robinson is a guy that has never had an offense like this at all. What's he going to look like in this offense? And they also added Bobby Wagner behind the best defensive player in the game in Aaron Donald. And they've got a guy on a chip on their shoulder right behind him in Jalen Ramsey. And they've got the Super Bowl MVP in Cooper Kupp. And they've got Sean McVay now back under contract. And can they win it all again? Every single game that the Rams play, to me, is fascinating. It starts with the Buffalo Bills up front, and then they've got their division games as well. They have to play Tampa Bay. They have to play Green Bay again. This team has got an incredible schedule. Vegas. They've got to play Denver. They play the AFC West, which everybody thinks is the toughest division in football. Every division game has got something to it. They play the Dallas Cowboys as well. Baker Mayfield in Carolina is on their list. That might be the one team that you're not even thinking about on their schedule. The Chargers, the battle for L.A., if you will.
They play the Bills.
That's first up.
Just first up.
It's a fascinating team to me. In a way as well, West Coast, East Coast bias and West Coast ignored. How many people are saying the Rams have a chance to repeat? They're number 4 on my list. Here are the most fascinating teams entering 2022. Number 3 are the Denver Broncos. All right, Russ.
Wait, what?
Let's ride. Let's ride. Let's see what's what. I have been saying I need to see it to believe it. I can't wait to see it. First up, Denver at Seattle. Come on. Right away, they send Russ back home. Let's see what Denver looks like. That defense that looked good with Vic Fangio. Now it's got a new coach, a new way of looking at things. Nathaniel Hackett is hooked up to we're not wondering if Russ is going to cook. He's got the kitchen. He's got the ingredients. He's got everything now. He's got the hat. He's got the stove. He's got whatever he wants. He's got everything in the kitchen. Russ is going to be allowed to cook in a way that I guess he wasn't allowed to cook in Seattle. And the Denver Broncos, a lot of people think can win this division. I need to see it. And every single time that Russ goes out there under his new auspices and he takes on the NFC West as well. So he's going to be back in his old division his first time out. Can't wait to watch this whole thing play out. They're fascinating to me. Number 3 on the list. Number 2 on the list is a team that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. I don't think a lot of people are talking about being fascinating.
Hint.
But I'm going.
Give us a hint.
It is a guy with a team with a new head coach and a new weapon and a quarterback that everybody is waiting to see. Can he live up to the billing that 2 guys in his draft class that were drafted, one in front of him and one behind him, have been living up to in elite status already? It is the Miami Dolphins. Number 2 on my list. Tua is number 2. The Dolphins, Tyreek Hill in this offense, Jalen Waddle in this offense, the running game with Raheem Mostert in this offense, Mike McDaniel is bringing from San Francisco. Every post-game press conference with this guy is going to be fascinating to me. And I got to see what he does game management. I got to see what he does in press conferences where I think he wins them. Everybody is wondering what he was saying on Le Batard's show, talking about Tua throwing the most accurate catchable ball he's ever seen. You heard Jordan Palmer saying yesterday that was weird. He's going to do things unconventionally. I don't know what he's going to do game management style. Him versus Belichick is going to be fascinating to me. This team that won all those games last year under Brian Flores and playing hard-hitting defense, what's it going to look like this offense? That's the track meet. And will Tua be able to execute it? Can they give a threat in division to the Bills? Will they make the playoffs this year when they came so close last year because the offense is going to be clicking under Tua with Tyreek Hill? What's he going to look like without Mahomes? And if it doesn't look like what we know Tyreek Hill to look like, is he going to be more vocal now in a way that he didn't say a word in Kansas City? Are we going to hear more from Tyreek in the manner that we've heard from wide receivers who don't get the football? For instance, we won't learn about a Week 5 game in which he thought he was being iced out of the offense in a podcast the following year, right? The Miami Dolphins are number 2 on this list.
I don't know about you, but that looked like money.
That's what I'm talking about. Salty Tua. I'm fascinated by the Miami Dolphins. And then number 1 on this list is going to be number 1 on so many people's lists to win it all. The Buffalo Bills. How will they make sure they live up to the billing that everybody is going to be billing, if you will, for Buffalo? How are they going to follow up what we saw last year with another 2 steps forward? We've seen him in an AFC championship game, and then we saw him in a divisional playoff game lose in Kansas City. And if Kansas City is less than in people's minds, then the door is wide open for the Buffalo Bills. Wide open. Josh Allen is an MVP candidate. Gabriel Davis could be a number 1 in number 2's clothing. I think James Cook is remarkable. Von Miller is now there. And the punt god won the job. Shocked the world. Matt Araiza, whenever the Bills don't do well on offense, somehow are 3 or 6 and outed, or do have their backs to their goal line, he'll just flip the field right around. Even their punt unit will be fascinating to watch this year. The coach, everything is set up for the Buffalo Bills and the Bills Mafia to have the season for the ages. And every single game from start to finish, they're going to be opening up in the home of the defending Super Bowl champs. They are taking on, obviously, their own division opponents. They are visiting Cincinnati on a Monday night after the calendar turns, January 2nd. They're playing on Thanksgiving again at Detroit. They're playing in front of the nation against New England the following week. They're going to be on national television their first 2 games. They're playing the Sunday night of Halloween weekend against Green Bay. Look out, man. They're back in Kansas City again at Baltimore, where it's Allen versus Lamar. Fascinating matchups. All of them, including at Miami. My top 2 most fascinating teams are playing twice this year. That's my list. Top 5 most fascinating teams for me entering 2022. Gents, you have the floor. Anything?
I mean, I like it. I think, like you said, all 32 teams are fascinating heading into this year. Whether they're fascinating nationally, I think you kind of hit it here. Cowboys are always fascinating. 49ers, I'm kind of surprised you didn't have on that list, just considering how often you've been talking about Trey Lance and talking about them. Raiders, also fascinating. Surprised they didn't make your list as well.
I think they're fascinating to me. I don't know. I mean, just in terms of their division, but I don't think every single one of their games they got to must-see what's going on. I mean, the Chiefs, a lot of people think that they are going to, the bed.
I don't understand that.
Neither do I. As you say, as you know, I've been saying over the last week, their offense is going to be better than most people think, if not better. But I still think the Raiders are set up with Devontae Adams.
I think the Colts are pretty fascinating to me.
Don't you think, though, the Broncos are the fascination of so many people that Russ has changed addresses?
They made such a big trade. I mean, that was the biggest, splashiest NFL trade we've seen.
What if Russ goes there and actually takes them to the playoffs in the same manner that he perennially did Seattle? What if he does that? What if he doesn't?
He might be
That's
MVP.
What I'm saying.
Yeah,
if they do or they do not.
Yeah.
If they do or they do not, it's still fascinating to me. The same thing with Miami.
And they have a new head coach.
Same thing with Miami. That's the one aspect about Miami is that if Tyreek Hill was never heard from in Kansas City, that's going to change in Miami.
Well, it's already. His podcast makes headlines.
That's what I'm saying.
All over the place. Also, with Miami, I think there's just the backdrop of the Tom Brady stuff from the offseason.
Oh, yeah.
And whether or not
Tua's
even going to be the quarterback next year.
You're not thinking that of it. That's what I'm saying. That's not a question with Derek Carr. He's a guy.
Well, except Derek Carr turned out was the MFer.
But that's so long ago. Gruden's long gone. So is Mayock. There's a new guy in town. There's a new guy in town.
I get it, but
different.
like Albert said yesterday, it's a story that it's not going to go away.
I'm just saying the Bills have a level of expectation that fascinates me. The Rams are the defending Super Bowl champs. How fascinating will that be if they do it again or have an opportunity to do it again? And we'll have to see, can they do it again? How repeatable is last year? That's always fascinating to me. The Chiefs are just a fascinating team to begin with, certainly if they don't perform as well as people think. Denver is fascinating, and so is Miami, because that quarterback situation is totally like this could be the end of Tua.
Giants are pretty fascinating, too.
But if they don't win, people will expect that.
Right. But they have a new head coach. It's
I
kind of
guess.
make or break for Daniel Jones and Saquon, really. I don't know, I'm just... I mean, every year we're like, this is going to be the greatest season ever, but this is really going to be the greatest season ever.
You're awful quiet over there.
I just listen.
He just doesn't want anyone to talk about Dallas.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're not talking about the Cowboys.
They're not as fascinating to me. I'm sorry. I mean, and I'm not going to just manufacture it just because so many shows want to manufacture it because the Cowboys get the clicks and all that sort of stuff.
I'm saying I appreciate that.
I think they've taken a step backwards.
I appreciate that.
I think they have.
I think based on what you had said previously about Denver, I think that was surprising just to see them in there. I think people are a little down on them a little bit.
But I've said I need to see it to believe it. Yeah. I need to see it to believe it. And so I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
I would love for nothing more than the Denver Broncos fans in my life to be happy and for me to be wrong that this is not going to be their year. This is going to be, I think, an adjustment year for a lot of people. And I just don't know how good they can be and how transformative Russ can be just by his mere presence.
Well, we never know.
See it.
This is all just,
Well, now we're going to find out.
We're guessing until the 11th comes.
And the whole business of let Russ cook. Wow. The number of the times that you would see the 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7 run, I'm assuming will be over. Like, let him run. Let him see. Let's see what he does.
Two good backs on that squad.
I mean,
he's no longer the young kid who got drafted by the team and got the opportunity from his old school head coach. And he's a good kid making good. Now he's the Super Bowl winning veteran being brought here in a monster trade to be the guy and run the offense. And there will not be a single moment where like, boy, the Broncos are holding Russ back. I mean, there won't be a single scintilla of that. So let's see what it looks like without that. That's why it's fascinating to me, too.
It's the best quarterback Denver's had now in 8 years since Peyton Manning's second season. I mean,
right.
Manning was pretty garbage his last year in Denver, even though they won the Super Bowl.
Well, you could say he was an aging quarterback. You could give him that benefit of the doubt.
He had 9 touchdown passes.
I mean, garbage is a tough word for
in a
an
full
all-time
season.
great.
He had 9 touchdown passes.
Okay,
I'm just saying it was pretty garbage. But I mean, it's basically all on Russ.
They will use it again there.
He slipped it in there.
But it was. I mean, it's the worst quarterback season from a Super Bowl winner ever.
Well, substandard. We can say substandard.
It was awful.
He's not going to let that go. So,
I mean, Brock Osweiler was the better quarterback for Denver.
No, he was not.
Come on.
I
know you like Peyton Manning. I like him too, but he was not good. He was terrible. He had 9 touchdown passes and 17 interceptions.
Right, so your point for this year is what?
My point is that it's the best quarterback that Denver's had in 8 seasons.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think expectations should be pretty high.
Fascinating. Let's take a break. What do you think? 844-204-RICH, number to dial. We'll take your phone calls when we come back right here on The Rich Eisen Show on this terrestrial radio station, Odyssey, our podcast, and YouTube.com. Back here on the old Rich Eisen show, everybody. Matt Eberflus says starters will play for the Bears up to halftime in the final preseason game at Cleveland. How about that?
Well, they need all the work they can get.
Man. I guess they're using I thought final preseason games are just kind of like the hanging chad you rip off.
No, I think a lot of teams are using that third preseason game as the one.
I don't know. It's so dangerous.
Jets didn't play anybody yesterday.
That's a good idea. I mean,
but
don't you think they should?
Don't they need the work?
No, don't they? Haven't they seen enough? Sending their quarterback to Marina Del Rey to get his knee opened up?
In no game situations.
Man. We'll see you on week 1.
I don't know, man. I think if you're a young team with not a lot of experience, you need to get these guys reps in game situations.
Who's even the backup in Chicago? Look it up.
No idea. Where's
that smells like a.
Where's McGlennon at?
No. That smells like a Chase Daniel situation to me.
Nah, he's with the Chargers. Trevor Siemian.
Oh, Trevor Siemian.
And
Peterman.
Peterman. It's third string.
You don't want to go full Trevor Siemian.
You don't want to go full Peterman either, though.
Trust me on that as a Jet fan.
Tell you what, man.
Tell you what, man.
That Peterman, man.
Let me tell you about Peterman, man.
Maybe Peterman was the MFer.
Gruden does love him some Peterman.
You sticking with Peterman?
Yeah, when I look back, I'm like, this is the way I would have went for that team. But they said they didn't want me, and I know what that means. I know what that feels like, and I'm going to you up because of that.
Sorry, I thought it was a shorter version.
I think that's great. No,
Brady hates Gruden, man. That's Gruden, dude.
I think he's talking about the Raiders there, don't you think?
Yeah, he's talking about Gruden.
I'm going to blank you up because of that.
Talk about Gruden, dude.
I would have gone there, but they didn't want me. And we just heard
Gronk said they were already looking for houses.
White say what he said, and Gronk said that's correct. That happened, man. Because we only played you're sticking with that MFer?
Right. That's what I thought that was.
No, that's fine though, Jay, because that basically is what Dana White said. How about that? How about UFC 278 Gronkcast fills in the blank out of nowhere?
Right? You just never know where you're going to get this info.
Out of nowhere, we found that information out.
And Dana said he never would have said anything if Gronk
brought it up, and Gronk then confirmed it.
Yeah.
Back here in our terrestrial radio outfit, we just heard play it again. Play the Brady thing again. Play it one more time. This is from the shop when Brady was sitting there on HBO, and you played the long version,
right?
Because normally you just play you're sticking with that MFer drop.
Well, they're labeled the same. So.
Oh well, that's Del Tufo's system. But go ahead and hit it.
Yeah, so when I look back, I'm like, this is the way I would have went for that team. But they said they didn't want me, and I know what that means. I know what that feels like, and I'm going to you up because of that.
I'd love
so Dana White said he had set it up for him and for Brady and Gronk to go together. Brady was even house hunting, and then Gruden turned it down at the last second. And so if Brady's saying I would have gone there, they didn't want me, and I'll F you up. They don't play Vegas this year, do they? They do. I do believe, by the way.
Bucks play the Raiders?
Hold on a minute.
I don't think so.
Hold on a minute. No, they don't.
No.
They don't.
Dang it.
What a bummer.
They
play the Patriots. That's why I thought about Brady.
Well, they play the Niners, so maybe he could just, go up there and do some stuff while he's in the area.
Well,
Patriots in Vegas. Want to go, Chris?
I've already thought about this. I haven't decided yet.
That's a Sunday night. You can get back. Honestly, you could take one of those 10 o'clock flights back. It's right across the street from McCarran Airport, where Serrano once famously took the disc. It's right there.
I'm aware. I know where it is. It's right across from
He's been there.
Mandalay. I get it.
Okay. Jeff in Los Angeles, you're here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's up, Jeffrey?
What's going on, Rich? How you doing?
What's going on? What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, before I get into the disturbing scenes at Yankee Stadium last night, I wanted to tell you, good for you for that NFL honors digs at the Ohio State fans. I haven't been able to call in and tell you that, but just good for you. I love it every time you do that, Rich.
Yeah, I was at the jacket dinner in front of a whole bunch of people in the state of Ohio that were screaming OH at me, and that hit a nerve, I'll be honest. And so
I love it.
Said it with my chest.
I think you're
Thank you, Jeff.
So just like you, Rich, I'm a lifelong Yankee fan, right? My best friend's uncle was on the team when we were little kids, so that's how I kind of got it out there, way of being here from Southern California. I have never seen anything more shameful as a Yankees fan than other fans doing that. If they can ban beer in the bleacher creatures, this has to be banned by Yankee Stadium security. But if you can do that, you can do this. Drinking or chiseling out a hole in a hot dog to drink beer around other people, like that's like taking your shoes off with no socks on in an airplane and just walking around. Like, it's just bad, right?
Well,
like,
we didn't see the aftermath. It could just be the whole mindset of it all winds up in the same place, right? So what's the problem? If I'm going to drink the beer and eat the hot dog, why don't I drink the beer through the hot dog and then consume the hot dog without the bun? By the way, maybe he might just be avoiding the carbs. I don't know.
That's just so wrong.
Be a light beer and he's avoiding carbs.
Keto friendly.
A keto friendly concoction. I don't know, but it's weird, and he's a madman. I agree with you. Gives everyone a bad name, and I need to know who this man is, and I need to know. Thank you for the call. I need to know if this was his second run at it, which is why somebody had the camera ready to capture it. I need to know if he was having trouble digging the hole. I don't know. I mean, you went full Shawshank on that hot dog, right? Right?
Full Shawshank.
He's digging a hole, trying to get through it. And the guy's like, if you're sitting there like, is he really going to drink? And by the way, kudos to the person capturing the video, because normally when you witness a crime, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing videoing it? You should stop it, right?
There's nothing you could do about it.
Not in 2022, Rich.
At this point,
this was a victimless crime.
This is one of those things. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, we're victims because we had to see it, but he wasn't harming anyone but himself.
I mean, it's terrible.
I can't wait.
So you're going to do it tonight, and then so you're going to do it tonight in the confines of your own home.
Yeah.
And Sean Mitchell is going to be Rich Eisen Show coordinating producer of the digital part of our operation. He is going to
Dodgers tonight. Dodgers
do it
Brewers
in front of actual patrons at Dodger Stadium.
Yes.
That's what's up.
I don't know where his seats are. I can find out. I'm sure they're pretty good. He knows people.
I bet you could use a soft pretzel for a minute.
A soft pretzel? Someone actually sent me a tweet. What about a pickle?
Oh.
You could I'd rather do a pickle than a hot dog.
Picklebacks are good.
I would not.
Chase whiskey
What?
with some pickle
I hate
juice.
pickles, though, so.
Oh. But if you carve out a pickle, you're using that for a straw for a long time. I mean, that's a nice solid exterior.
What does it matter?
I mean, I'm not doing it. I'm just saying I'd rather use the pickle than a hot dog or a pretzel or anything. You know what I mean? No? Hey, Artie Moreno's thinking about selling the Angels.
I saw that. I want to have a little bit more run to talk about it, and we're about to.
I was just changing
say goodbye
the
to our.
subject.
No, that's all right.
Yeah. I was just getting
say
off
goodbye
of
to
it.
our terrestrial radio outfit for just hour number 2. We'll hit on that at the top of hour number 3 and other news that's going on in the world of sports here on this crazy mixed up world where people are digging holes in hot dogs and consuming beers through it. It's just it makes you really wonder what's happening in the world. This crazy mixed up planet. Thomas Q. Jones coming up in studio hour 3.
Curb got renewed season 12.
Well, I told you that was happening.
I know, but it's official now.
He actually.
I'm saying it's out there.
Once
now.
it was Larry David telling me that at the For Your Consideration event that I hosted back in June. That was it.
I understand, but now it's, public.
Fantastic.
Season 12 coming.
Okay. Robert in Wisconsin, you're here on the Rich Eisen Show. Let's take your call. What's up, Robert?
Hey, Rich. Just calling in. The only thing about that hot dog thing, I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum flavor-wise, but you guys are really burying the lead. There's people out there drinking beer through straws. How is that not?
That's true, too. By the way.
Good point.
I mean, I guess, what's your point? What's your point? What's worse, the straw or the hot straw as a hot dog as a straw? What's worse? What's worse? It's got to be the hot dog.
Easily the straw concept. I mean, like I said, flavor-wise, have you ever seen a Bloody Mary in this state? I mean, we top those things with like half a fried chicken. You know, meat and alcohol together is an absolutely, like, that's proof that God loves us.
Yeah.
It's just you seem to have a couple of misconceptions about the state. The other one I have to tell you is that not every Big Ten rivalry involves Michigan. Paul Bunyan's axe does not even know that your school exists.
Listen, Robert.
I like this, Robert.
Robert.
You got to call back.
Robert. The Paul Bunyan axe. The Paul Bunyan axe is between you and Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does the whole country
for the Northwood?
And Robert, I look. You had me at hello with the whole business of meat and alcohol. That means that God loves you. I love it. But you got to be kidding me. Wisconsin, Minnesota. Does that stop traffic? Where people with the remotes? Come on, coast to coast. Really? Let's be honest. Be honest. Yes or no?
I mean, I can't speak for coast to coast. I'm just saying that
that's what I'm saying.
Don't realize that you exist.
I'm
Big Ten rivalry.
I'm talking coast to coast. And I'm saying, like, look, there's the brown jug between Michigan and Minnesota. I'm not throwing that in there. It's big between Michigan and Minnesota. That's for sure. I'm just talking about the whole country. But I don't want to end on these terms, other than the fact that I really adore you. And let's try it again. Okay? Can we do that again?
Rich, I'll do my best to come back. I enjoyed this. I just checked off something on the bucket list.
Attaboy. Robert in Wisconsin, everybody.
See you, Rob.
Putting fried chicken on Bloody Marys.
People from Wisconsin just built different.
They are.
Right.
I love it.
Just built different.
I love it. All right, we'll take a break here on our YouTube stream. Don't go anywhere. We're back on Odyssey, YouTube, on The Rich Eisen Show in a moment.
Get a sound check.
Aha! Hit the drop.
I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong.
This is the Rich Eisen Show.
What was Gruden thinking?
If you don't know what to do, you won't play here. Knock on wood if you're with me, okay?
Live from the Rich Eisen Show studio in Los Angeles.
What was Gruden thinking? Are you kidding me? How do you turn that down? What are you thinking?
Earlier on the show, Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian, Saints defensive end Cameron Jordan. Coming up, actor and former NFL running back Thomas Q. Jones. And now, it's Rich Eisen.
Hour number 3 of the Rich Eisen Show here on this terrestrial radio outfit coast to coast on the Rich Eisen Show Network. Thanks to our friends at Westwood One, Cumulus Podcast Network. We say hello to everybody who listening to us on our podcast whenever you darn well please, listening live on Odyssey and, of course, right here on youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show, our television home, temp home for the moment. We will start streaming on Roku starting in September. It is free on the Roku channel, which is available on all Roku devices. If you don't have a Roku device, there is your Samsung Smart TV. If you don't have a Samsung Smart TV, there's Amazon Fire TV. If you don't have any of those above, there is the Roku app on your mobile phone. Roku channel is free there on your mobile device. And if you somehow, some way don't have a mobile device, who are you? Okay.
Flip phone.
Okay. Well, you can even get that too on the RokuChannel.com. You got the internet?
Yeah.
Yeah. The RokuChannel.com. Free there. The key word is free on the Rich Eisen Show. Hour number
Squad
3 here.
goals.
Thank you. Squad goals indeed. Good to see you over there, Chris Brockman. Hour number 3.
Rich, what's happening?
Jason Feller, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm well. How
Good
are
to see you. TJ Jefferson, how are you, sir?
I mean,
Okay. So that sounded like the new Brooklyn Nets slogan for 2022-2023.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
That's it.
Yeah, sure.
That's it. Bobby Cannavale is going to be right there in Brooklyn, where he lives.
Right. He's probably got courtside seats.
Oh yeah. Well, no, he's a Knicks fan.
Oh, okay.
He's not going. I bet you he's still going across the East River to go watch his basketball. Because if you show up at the Nets games, I think Dolan's Kevins will notice that sort of thing and
not let you in the side door at the garden.
Suddenly,
anymore?
suddenly you got to go around the front, just like everybody else. And it's kind of crazy what's happening in this mixed up world where people are drinking beers through hot dogs that they hollow out with a straw. But is it possible that the NBA is no longer the league in which you get traded the minute you ask for a trade, but the NFL is? Well, how about that? Devontae Adams says, I want out, and the Packers oblige him. Tyreek Hill says, I want out, and the Chiefs oblige him. This is a league where it was always, yeah, right. Pull out something called a contract and look at your signature on the bottom line, and we'll see you in training camp, sir. The NFL is sending receivers where they want to go. You want to go to Vegas? Play with your old school friend? Your boy Blue from Fresno? You want to do that? Here you go. Tyreek. Jets or Dolphins? Yeah, we understand.
That's crazy.
You're going to Miami. And in the NBA, Kevin Durant's like, I'd like out, please. And they're like, no. They take 54 days to say it. From June 30th all the way to yesterday. And confirmed it today. They met in Los Angeles. The they being the coach and general manager, Steve Nash and Sean Marks, who Durant apparently said needed to go for him to stay. And the owner, Joe Tsai, and his wife were there as well. The owner who said, I'm sticking with my coach and general manager after the news popped out that Durant had told the team the terms in which he would return required them to get a new coach and general manager. And they've agreed to move forward with our partnership. They call it a partnership. They're not like he's going to play basketball for us. And sure enough, his logo of his production company's at the bottom. What do you think?
Well,
we're going to see the Seth Curry show on the boardroom. What we're going to see.
TJ Warren and Royce O'Neal.
Yeah, 8 crazy nights with Royce O'Neal behind the scenes. Right? Steve Nash doesn't have a spot in the boardroom. Let's be honest.
Steve Nash is probably...
I don't know. And that's the thing. Every single day, we're going to be watching the Nets basketball game saying, what's the body language? What's happening? Does Durant like it? Does Kyrie like it? Is Ben Simmons in their text chain?
Oh, here we go.
Honestly, it's kind of crazy, isn't it? Because Durant was told no. They told Durant no. And they held on to him. Like Beauty and the Beast, right? They put him in the library till he came around.
Right.
And the rose is blooming.
All right, so title odds.
He's the beauty. The Nets are the beast.
Title odds have shifted. Like I said yesterday, you could get them at anywhere from 16 to 18 to 1. They're now 7 to 1.
There you go. How are those people with the 18 to 1 tickets feeling right now?
I wish I was one of them.
You would never have done that at 18 to 1 anyway. You know it.
I'm not a big futures guy, but yeah.
What, you're about the here and now, are you?
Celtics are still the
Preseason?
favorite.
That's the here and now. Preseason football. That's the here and now that you game.
That's
you
what's in
wager
front.
your money
That's what's
on?
in front of me. That's what's in front of me.
Got it.
Celtics 5-1, Warriors 6-1, Bucks 13-2, Nets and Clippers 7-1.
All right, man.
How you feel about that, TJ? Sixers
Nets
14-1.
How about that? How about the Nets and the Clippers now having the same odds to win it all?
Well, I mean, Kawhi,
Which is more? Well, hold on a minute. Wait, whoa. Which is more of the proverbial crapshoot? Nets or Clippers?
Whew, baby. Clippers.
Don't you think? Because
yes.
Yeah.
Health always a factor,
right?
I mean,
who knows with Kawhi, right?
I've gone over many times the Clipper curse and gave you full-on instances where things have just randomly gone wrong.
Because you don't know. Like Kawhi's not sending out those videos of him grinding.
But see, you're not following the right.
Okay, so
Kawhi's looking jacked right now.
Okay, where have we seen Kawhi?
You got to go.
I'm not looking.
You got to look on Clippers Twitter, Clippers Instagram.
Okay. He looks good.
Oh yeah, man.
He's had an apple a day.
He is looking. He's ready.
I'll tell you what, sneaky good odds here, good value. Lakers 18-1. Just on a total dice roll.
Because that's the next shoe to drop, right? What happens with Russ?
I think so.
Nothing happens with Russ. Okay.
But they thought it seemed like their trade partner was Brooklyn, and now that they're bringing everybody back. So, who takes him?
844-204-RICH, number to dial here on the program. Speaking of spending your money where it should be spent, who wants to buy the Angels? Anybody? You want to pull together some money?
I got 5 on it.
You buy the Los Angeles Angels?
I still owe TJ 20, so I don't know if I'm out.
Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, has said, he put out an announcement, he's initiated a formal process to evaluate strategic alternatives, including a possible sale of the team. That's the lead item in the paragraph. In other words, he's thinking of selling.
That's a lot of words to just be like, hey, I'm thinking about.
Who wants Trout and Ohtani? Who wants to buy Trout and Ohtani?
Well, I mean,
a nice spot right down the lane from Disneyland, right around Knott's Berry Farm. You can, anybody?
They closed the Hooters next door.
Anybody want a rally monkey? Anybody want one of them?
You need guarantees that Ohtani and Trout aren't going to ask for a trade before you make this purchase.
Why would they ask for a Trout? Why would Trout ask for a trade?
Because they don't ever win.
Guess what? He's not getting one. He's staying put. You're going to get Trout and Ohtani.
I don't know about.
You're going to get Trout and Ohtani.
I don't know.
You're getting Trout and Ohtani.
What if Trout says, I want to go home and play for my hometown team? The Phillies?
Good. You've got a contract here with the new partnership.
I think.
You actually what you do is you meet in Los Angeles and you create a partnership and work for the Nets.
I don't believe Ohtani's going to be there 2 years from now.
Well, then I guess that's part of the process. You better sell him fast. Here's what Artie, look, man, I know he's a very successful man, Artie Moreno, but he made a mistake already. Wow. In helping explore the possible sale of the team, he's hired something called Galatioto Sports Partners.
Right. We're
sitting in
right
your own
here.
back. Our show used to be on your radio station,
right
Artie.
We had billboards in Angel Stadium.
We did for many years.
For a while.
So, we're sitting right here at RES Consulting. We could do this for you.
And we're cheap, too.
We're here.
Ish.
Inexpensive.
Inexpensive
is the word.
Inexpensive. We're inexpensive.
Please.
Inexpensive. Got it. Well, sometimes you got to use the language of the people, guys.
All right. We are the ones who can help you find the right partners. We are the ones with the ideas. We are the ones who look at people.
People helping people.
And help them.
According to Forbes, Angels,
we could do it.
9th highest Major League Baseball team, $2.2 billion valuation in March.
First order of business I would do if I bought the Angels would call them the California Angels right away. Yeah, nobody up here in Los Angeles considers Anaheim and the great people of Orange County Los Angelinos. Not at all. And I don't know what that means. I have no idea if it was a business deal that somebody said, if you call yourself Los Angeles, I'm in.
Los Angeles Angels.
It's just it's
too long.
They've had so many different names.
It's insanely far away. And as the crow flies, it might be close. There ain't no crow flying when you're on the 405.
Or down the 5.
All right, that ain't happening. And then I'd put him in the old Brian Downing, Don Baylor Angels uniforms.
Yeah,
absolutely, right back,
with the halo,
with the
gray,
A and the halo, right away.
Angels on the chest.
Yes.
I like the old school CA hat.
Correct. Like where Gene Autry, bring back the whole Gene Autry aspect of it. Bring it all back. That's what I would do. The problem is I don't know if that helps you win games.
Well,
might fill up the stadium.
I don't know, but clearly I'm wondering Angels fans are like, get out, man.
38 miles.
I know you paid some money for Trout, and I know you paid money for Ohtani, and I know you paid money for Rendon, but just enough's enough. We're done. We need new ownership. They have a seance. Get rid of everything else.
The sage? Bring the sage?
I don't know.
Kyrie
Yeah, smudge the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I should be saying this stuff before I step in there with my family on Monday night.
I like going down there. It's a nice ballpark.
It's not. It's a very nice
pretty.
ballpark.
Great
They like the
concessions.
rocks. Cooper's already talked
rocks
about
are
that
cool.
you can't wait for the fireworks. Until I told him, that means the Angels have homered. We don't want to see those.
They're playing the Yankees or the Sox when you.
Please.
Well, I don't know if Susie's take. I mean, I don't know.
No,
The Sox have already been here. They're playing the Yankees.
Okay.
As you know, I have. I had one preemptory in my household in choosing the jury.
You gave her football.
Well, I mean, if Brady's a Michigan man, she's a Patriot fan. Brady's winning championships. For me to say you must root for the Jets, child services would have knocked on the door to take my children away from us.
Facts.
Okay, right? And as you know, the Dolan wormhole removed the Knicks from the equation. And I actually enjoyed watching the Celtics this year. Words I never thought would come out of my mouth.
They're a fun team.
Okay. But the Red Sox, no, sir. No bueno. We're going down to see the Yankees and Aaron Judge, everybody, who hit home run number 47.
He hadn't homered in 9 games.
That had been. You know who's
He fell off the pace a little
And let's
bit.
just bring this all full circle here. Albert Pujols is a freaking revelation.
Yeah.
And he's already said he's not playing again.
So he's got to get to 700.
Well, the way he's been hitting the last
he'll have
2
700
weeks.
tonight.
He's got a
He'll
month-
have a
he's
7
got a
home run
month for
game.
700,
Is he 693 right now, I believe?
He got a 693 last night. I believe it was his 30th career home run in Wrigley.
Wow. He's been killing lefties.
I believe he's now got 40. I think he's set a record or tied a record for number of different pitchers he's homered off against. He's unbelievable. Yeah. And he's playing first. He's not just sitting there in the dugout.
Yeah, not DH.
He made an incredible dig out of a ball that Tommy Edman threw from short right center field last night. He's playing like he's hit the fountain of youth. And it was all in support.
Youth and him are in the same sentence.
It's you're right. It's all in support of the new Cy Young Award winner Jordan Montgomery, who the Yankees dumped on the Cardinals, and all he's done is win 4 games and a 1-hit shutout last night in Chicago.
Who's going to be the Yahoo in 5 years to not vote Pujols into the Hall of Fame?
There's going to be one.
Yeah, at least.
But I hope he sticks around one more year.
Well, if he gets 700, there's no reason.
Well, he could pass the Babe next year. I would play one more year to pass the Babe. Why not?
He's playing, I mean, and he's a revelation. Cooper and I picked him up in fantasy.
You did?
Yes.
Have you been playing him the last 2 weeks?
No, we just picked him up last night.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, the horse might be out of the barn, Coop, but he's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So, amazing.
14 home runs this year.
He's been terrific, and he's going to play in the playoffs.
Crazy.
Behind game 1, 4, and 7 starter Jordan Montgomery. Good God. Yankees traded for a center fielder who's not playing because he's hurt. At least Benintendi's beginning to rake. But at any rate, the Yankees are the team that has a fan who's drinking a beer through a hot dog straw. I mean, what the hell, man?
Last bit of baseball news. Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to talk to the media this afternoon.
Oh, he will?
So we'll see what he has to say about everything that's going on with him.
Okay. And if he says anything over the next 40 minutes, we'll turn that around, as they say in the business. If not, we'll play it tomorrow. But let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to see Thomas Q. Jones here in the Rich Eisen Show studio. Won't that be fun?
Love it.
Love chatting with him. That's next on the Rich Eisen Show.
I want to stay.
Back here on our YouTube stream, right here on Odyssey as well. Our terrestrial radio audience will come back in just a few minutes' time. So it's the first of two times I say hello to one of our favorites back here on the Rich Eisen Show, one of the stars of Johnson, which can be seen on Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern on Bounce. Season 2 also encores the next day streaming on Brown Sugar, one of the lead actors and co-executive producers, but the only one part of the operation with 10,000 career rushing yards in the National Football League is Thomas Q. Jones. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you for having me.
How's everything?
Everything's great.
Good.
Everything's great, man. Staying busy. Have an incredible show on Bounce TV Johnson. I'm really excited about. We're
fantastic.
Kind of past a little bit past the midway point in the season, but everything's been great.
Well, let's take a clip. Let's take a look at a clip right here of you plying your craft as an actor right here on Johnson. Season 2 again, 8 p.m. Eastern on Bounce TV.
Naomi, maybe I should keep Caleb full-time, just for a while.
We've talked about this.
Things are good between us, Naomi. Now, we're in counseling, and the way I see it, I'm going to be moving back in soon. So we won't have to have these conversations.
But for now?
For now, he's getting taller, his voice is getting deeper, and to be honest, no offense, but no matter how hard you try, you can never teach a boy how to be a man.
Oh, God. Are you serious right now?
Well, you have your version, Naomi, but it's just different.
That's an ignorant thing to say when countless women do it every day, Omar. And probably better than a lot of men.
Don't twist my words, Naomi. You know what I mean.
No, Omar, I don't.
I'm gonna go order some breakfast.
Haven't seen the rest of the scene, but I'm assuming ordering breakfast didn't make things better in that conversation.
No, it didn't. It didn't make things better in the moment. It got a little better afterwards, after everything calmed down.
That's good. Yeah, because I know in conversations with my wife, if I ever start a sentence with "to be honest" and no offense, nothing I say after that is going to be good either.
Yeah, those are bad conversation starters for sure.
But how are you enjoying it?
Oh man,
I must be loving this.
It's incredible. It's been an incredible transition. I know I've been here a few times before.
Yes.
Especially when I first started taking this very seriously, acting in Hollywood. I think it was 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And from that time until I think the second time I was here was when I was actually cast for Luke Cage.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my own film, A Violent Man, that was out. And so now, I have my own TV series out that I'm executive producer on. I'm one of the showrunners as well as one of the lead actors. I've just really grown a lot as an actor. I've grown a lot as a producer. A lot more experienced. I've been fortunate enough to work in some really great environments around some incredible actors and also in some pretty influential projects. And now I'm in the space where I want to create my own content. And Johnson's the first show out the box.
And it's season 2 also, Thomas Q. Jones. Well done.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not easy. Getting one on the air, period, and then getting a second season as well. That is not simple to do.
Yeah, it's tough because no matter how good your content is in your mind, it still has to be good and quality to the viewers because it's still a numbers game, just like the NFL is still a numbers game. So viewership in season 1 was incredible. We broke a lot of records at Bounce TV. That's the network that the show airs on in season 1. And like I said, season 2 has been even better. The responses, the feedback has been incredible. The numbers are continually going up every week. So it's been an incredible journey as a showrunner. I like the fact that I'm in a position of not necessarily control, but I'm able to be behind the scenes and use a lot of the qualities and characteristics that I use as an NFL player now as a leader, in show business. So it was a seamless transition for me, and being a showrunner and executive producer of my own show was like a dream.
So since you're bringing up football and entertainment and making TV shows together, I'm going to put you on the spot with this question, Thomas Q. Jones. Okay. Who can you tell is lying to you the most, a football coach or a television executive?
Oh. That's actually a pretty easy question.
Okay.
Oh.
Television executive.
No, we love the idea. Let us think about it. We're going to circle back.
Right. And then they circle back with their own version of your show.
Great idea. We love it. But let's just, I just want to talk to everyone. We'll circle back. The circling back. You hear a lot of circle back.
Yeah,
right?
Sometimes circling back is with your show idea, just with other people. So, I would definitely say a television executive.
Really? More than a football coach,
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, a football coach can't lie to you because if he's not keeping it 100% honest with you, he's going to potentially lose his job, too, if you continue to mess up.
Yes.
So his job is on the line just like yours is. Your production determines his livelihood. So,
and conversely, lying to you is what helps keep a television executive in their job.
Yes. Yeah, I mean,
right?
it works. It's
potentially.
It's polar
it's
opposites.
just like I couldn't be truthful because if we did that, then I'd be out of a job.
Right, polar opposite. Because sometimes if it's someone of influence, you can't tell them that their show sucks. So you have to lie to them to keep your job.
That's right. Oh my gosh. All right, we'll change the subject because I don't want you to get in trouble next time you walk in to pitch an idea. I saw what you said. Thomas Q. Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show. Do you know where you are on the all-time rushing list right now? Are you aware of that?
I think I'm 26 or 27.
You are. You are 26.
Okay.
Do you know who's right in front of you and who's right behind you on that list?
I think Tiki Barber is right behind me.
That is correct by about 150 yards.
Okay.
And this other individual's in front of you by 16 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, guessing where he is on the all-time list.
Let's see. I know Ricky Waters and
he's 2 in front of you.
Okay.
By the way, I just saw him at Bryant Young's Hall of Fame party.
Hall of Fame. Okay.
Yeah, I just saw him there. Yeah.
Incredible back.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of his. Even at Notre Dame. When he played at Notre Dame.
Big too. I mean, when I saw him, I forgot just how.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter he has his own training company or something like that. I don't know. I saw something on Twitter. If it's not Ricky, it might be Jamal.
It is
Lewis.
Jamal Lewis.
J. Lou. Yeah.
It is exactly that.
Yeah.
10,000 rushing yards is no joke. As a matter of fact, only 31 people have played football in the NFL with that many yards. That's it.
Wow.
And you're one of them, man.
It's so crazy. I retired 10 years ago.
10 years, huh?
10. 2012 was my last game.
Right.
And because I'm just so engulfed in the business and in creating my own content and acting and everything that comes with that, I'm really far removed from the NFL. I only remember those names was because the last time I checked was probably a few years ago. Those were the guys that were Tiki was one spot behind me. Jamal and Ricky were a couple spots ahead of me. So that's the only thing, the only way I remember is from a few years ago.
Well,
but
it hasn't changed very much. As a matter of fact, we were just looking. There's not a single, with Adrian Peterson not expected to play this year, there is not a single active player in the top 50 all-time rushing yards list. Not a single one. I can't.
Yeah, Mark Ingram is 54 and Zeke is 58.
I can't imagine. I got to look up that with the NFL Network research to find out the last time an NFL season kicked off without a single active player in the top 50 on the rushing list, all-time rushing list. That's probably been a minute since that's happened.
I don't know. Like I said, I when I retired, I was trying to figure out how do I, figure out what to do with my time.
Right.
Because, my entire career was not necessarily chasing a rushing record, but you're consistently padding your stats. And I'm thinking of 1,000-yard seasons. That's my goal every new year. That's my resolution. It's another 1,000-yard season. And so you don't even really think about the yards or the stats until when you're further removed from the game. And then you realize, why 10,000 yards is so significant. Because it's not just the yards. It's what you have to do to get that many yards. It's playing hurt. It's playing well when you're losing. I think I had maybe 3 seasons where one season we were 4-12, another season we were 5-11, and I still had over 1,000 yards. So mentally, how do you come back after 5-game losing stretch and still be motivated to run for over 100 yards? Obviously your paycheck, but
no, I know, knowing that there's a business decision for you to make in that hole if the hole is open for you.
Right. It just comes down to will. And desire and passion for the game. And and that's why I respect anyone, obviously, that plays in the NFL. But as a running back, that milestone, 10,000 yards, it says a lot more than just the actual yardage. It says a lot about you as a player and as a person.
And it also means, Thomas Q. Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show, longevity as
Yes.
well. And it seems now that in the NFL, getting that, I guess, second contract as a running back is a significant achievement. The third is pretty much a rarity. Getting that third contract paid the way that you should be paid, because the concept that your best years are now behind you and the NFL doesn't really pay you for past performance unless you're somebody particularly quarterbacky.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
so,
quarterback, yeah.
So you gotta take that into the equation too, because there's all these young kids coming out of college, and the college offenses are now married to the professional offenses and vice versa.
Right. Yeah.
It seems like that's what's happening, right?
It's hard. It's hard for a running back to get even one contract now.
How many did you get? How many did you get?
My initial contract with the Cardinals. Then I signed a deal.
Were they the Phoenix Cardinals when you got them too?
They were Arizona.
They were okay.
They were in Phoenix, but Arizona.
Got it.
In 2000, and then the Chicago Bears. I signed my second deal, and then I was traded to the Jets, and I signed my third deal.
Damn.
And then I was released by the Jets, and then I signed a 2-year deal with the Chiefs. So during that time, a running back could get 4 deals potentially, and that's
how you get 10,000 yards if you're good.
Yeah, but I think what helped me was early on in Arizona, I didn't have as many carries, so there wasn't as much wear and tear on my body. So by the time I ended up in Chicago, I think it was year 5, I was just kind of coming into my own and starting to get 250, 300 carries a year. And then also the way I took care of my body. So by the time I ended up in New York, I think I was 29. Obviously, I was supposed to be done, but I continued to get better. I think in 2007, I had 1,100 yards. 2008, I had 1,300. It was a start in the Pro Bowl. 2009, I had 1,400. And it was kind of this weird thing. There were like a couple of articles about how is his numbers going up with his age versus going backwards. And I felt like, honestly, I could have had more. I think if I would have stayed in New York that last year with the offensive line that we had and the chemistry we had with our offense, I think I might have been able to pull off another 1,100 yards season.
Who was in Thomas Q. Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show? Who was in the Pro Bowl when you were there? Because this is in Hawaii, obviously.
Yeah.
Or was that the old Iolani Hotel as well,
yes.
back in the day?
Yeah.
Where everybody's staying in the same hotel and the practice field was right next door, and then the beach was right behind that. And you didn't have to move.
Didn't have to move. And then the next year it was in Orlando. So I was happy that I was able to play there one of the last years because it's just the nostalgia of being in Hawaii, the Pro Bowl. That year, I think Chris Johnson. I don't think Chris played. I think he had an ankle injury. Marshawn Lynch, I think, was the alternate. So it was me, Marshawn, Leon Washington
from the Jets.
Yeah, me and Leon both were in the Pro Bowl the same year.
No kidding.
I can't remember who the other back was.
So how big was your family that you had to bring?
Oh, I ended up having a party in Hawaii. I ended up flying about 50 people.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing about the Pro Bowl back in the day is that, for the first 3 quarters.
Ronnie Brown was the
other one too. Yeah. So back in the day, so the first 3 quarters, there wasn't a lot of action.
No.
Then the fourth quarter, everyone does the math about how much of a difference it is to win and lose this game and how much money you've spent on bringing your family and your friends out there, and you start doing the math. It's just like, I better win.
We have to win so we can get the bigger
even.
check.
It's right.
Yeah.
The difference between breaking even or not. I remember that.
I had a big party over there. I had Angie Martinez. That's when I had my music label as well. I had a music label while I was in the NFL, and so I was really good friends with a lot of different DJs. DJ Clue, Angie Martinez, she hosted the event. All the guys that were in the Pro Bowl came. It was a lot of fun, and that was just a time that I wanted all my family and friends and people there, so it was worth it. But the first 3 quarters, like you said, in the Pro Bowl, there was at one point I was talking to my family on the sidelines.
Yeah, right.
And the fourth quarter, all of a sudden, the energy just shifted, and it went into playoff mode because guys are like competing like the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. I think we lost. Peyton Manning was a quarterback. It's like 14 years ago.
How many Pro Bowls did you make? Was that the only one?
Yeah, that was the only one.
You didn't give out your room number to anybody, did you?
No.
Because you know what happens there, right? Back in the day, they put the veterans put their drinks and their food on your room. Oh yeah, that's how I believe Sean Merriman once got like a $20,000 tab.
No, that wasn't going to happen to me, especially
everyone
at that
put
time.
it on their room. Yeah, when the year Romo made it, Sean Payton was busting his stones and broke the huddle of an NFC practice with Romo's room number. That actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that happening. I mean, that essentially happened to me my rookie year. I was the 7th overall pick, so I had, in a little ways, some ways, I mean, I had to buy breakfast and all that stuff. So, I mean, I had a tab for the entire season, breakfast tab. So I know what that felt like.
A breakfast tab?
Yeah, it was a breakfast tab.
Were they putting filet mignons on it anyway? Just a little steak and eggs?
Well, sometimes. And then Thursday night, running back dinners. So I had a tab pretty much halfway, every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
Any day that ends in Y,
yes,
pretty much.
Yes,
it sounds like Thomas Q. Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show. Back.
Jay Cutler, the other AFC quarterback.
Was that Jay Cutler was a quarterback?
Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Jay was a quarterback that season as well. I remember because I think I sat next to Jay on the bus going to practice one day, and it was one of the most awkward bus rides. I mean, we're just sitting there like next to each other and like didn't say anything. It was like, and I expected for some reason, I don't know. I thought that we might have a conversation, quarterback, running back, but I think I may have said hello or something. He
said nothing to you?
Maybe he was focused on the practice or something. I don't know.
Oh,
but that's how I remember Jay Cutler was on the team.
Oh, and Brett Favre made it.
Yeah, Brett made it. He didn't play though.
Okay.
That was the Brett Jet season.
Yeah.
How do you make the Pro Bowl that season?
And Rich, looking at Thomas's stats with your Jets in 3 seasons, 3,800 yards rushing, 28 touchdowns.
Serious.
13 and 14 touchdowns in back-to-back seasons.
You were one of my favorite Jets.
Man,
crazy.
Thank you. That was an incredible time for my career because I finally felt like I was in a place where not only was I not necessarily wanted, because I definitely felt wanted in Chicago, but I felt like a veteran and I was allowed to like lead without any repercussions or
they gave you the ball.
Anything after
they
it.
Gave you the ball. They're like, okay,
you
are going to be the engine.
Yeah, and it wasn't like I had to, constantly feel like there was someone behind me. And obviously that's a part of the NFL. It's it's competition and that's great. It makes you better. But I think there I felt like at ease, like, okay, this is my show. And I think that's why I was able to perform at such a high level.
And get all the way to the Pro Bowl so you can have no conversation with Jay Cutler on the way to the stadium.
I think Jay was focused that day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good excuse. That's good. Thomas Q. Jones here on the Rich Eisen Show. So we had DK Metcalf on this program just, what was it, last week, 2 weeks ago?
Last week.
He said he's taking acting lessons on off days.
That's great.
This is what he's doing during his playing time.
That's great.
What advice would you have for DK Metcalf as somebody who's made a successful leap from the sport to entertainment? What do you got?
I would say take it serious. It's not an easy transition for an athlete that's a standout athlete. There are a lot of athletes that have transitioned and made it in Hollywood and entertainment. But if you have a bigger name, a bigger brand, it's a little harder because people sometimes only see you as that. There's a lot of guys that are actors that no one knew that they even played football until they mention it. But me, they know I played. So they're assuming I'm not taking this serious, or they're assuming that I'm making a cameo appearance. So those were some of the struggles I went through in the beginning, were just making sure that people know I'm serious. And that's why I added my middle initial to my stage name to kind of reinvent myself. Thomas Jones, the football player, Thomas Q. Jones, the actor. And it worked because a lot of times when I would be on a show, people wouldn't know that I was Thomas Jones, the former football player. They thought Thomas Q. Jones was a new actor. So by the time they realized it, they were like,
letter's the difference? Like that?
Huge difference. Because after they saw me perform, they were like, wow, he's a good actor. That guy's a pretty good actor. And then they were like, that's Thomas Jones from the Jets. What? It's too late. You've seen me act. You already believe that I know what I'm doing. You're taking me serious. Versus, that's Thomas Jones. He's making a cameo. And now, you know, I'm a respected actor. I've worked on a lot of projects with some great actors. The last project that just the season finale was, I think it was last week, was P-Valley, Showing Stars. Really, really incredible show. And I like that role because I'm able to have this really Southern accent. I have gold teeth and playing this kind of like menacing street guy, but, you know, he's got good intentions. So it allows me to show my range because, you know, I'm a fan of actors. You know, I'm a fan of like real acting. I was in acting classes for 4 years straight, 2 different actor studios, 6 hours a week. So the advice I would have for DK is to actually take it serious, get in classes, and understand you want to earn the respect of the actors. That's what I had to do. And also when I moved, I said, how am I going to psychologically make myself care about acting? Because at any moment I could just go home. I don't need this to pay my bills. It's not like this was my dream. So when I moved to LA, I didn't bring my car. I rented a studio apartment because in my mind, I'm like, how do I think like an aspiring, hungry actor? I have to become that if I'm going to achieve or not achieve what they're trying to achieve, but hustle like they do. So I didn't move into Beverly Hills. I moved into a little small apartment in Hollywood. I didn't bring my car, so I had to walk everywhere. I had to reinvent the struggle as well. And it paid off because people started to respect me. They would see me walking in Hollywood, and they're like, "That's Thomas Jones," but he's actually walking to where I'm walking. Like,
but they didn't know it was really Thomas Q. Jones was walking the street.
Well, some people didn't even know that I played football because
that's great. That's your goal, right?
Yes, because they saw me with him.
Yeah.
Because they didn't expect me to be hustling and grinding with them.
Yeah.
And I earned their respect, and so that's why I think I've been able to make so much progress in 8 years. As an actor and now producer, because I've always been a humble person, but my humility allowed people to respect me and see me like them, and not see them as Thomas Jones, a 10,000-yard rusher, played in the NFL 12 years, that whole thing, and that helped me a lot. So DK, yeah, I would definitely take it serious, get in classes.
Well, he definitely sounds serious, but if he's going to take your route, he's going to have to really work hard at recreating the struggle because you just signed a $70 million contract. So there's that. But he did sounded real serious about it, didn't he, guys? I mean, like he really sounded like he takes time to do it and he really wants to do it. He had like a little cameo in a movie playing, I believe, a softball coach, right? And in a Netflix film that's recently out. And I asked him what he wanted to do, like if he could wave a wand. He said, be in a buddy comedy with Kevin Hart is what he said.
I mean, the thing about coming from the NFL, and I actually played with DK's father, Terrence Metcalf, in Chicago. So I played with his father years ago. Great guy.
You don't remember seeing DK around, did you?
No, I don't remember then. That was 2004, 2005. I think.
Sure.
But no, I mean, in regards to like just me being able to like get people to take me seriously, it really was a challenge, because when people see DK Metcalf or they see Thomas Jones, they automatically think you can only do one thing. And no matter what you do, they're going to see you as that, especially if you're typecast. And so my team, my management, we focus on certain roles that give me an opportunity to play specific characters, things that aren't what you would expect all the time. Johnson is great because I'm playing a father that's going through a custody battle with his son and some marital issues with his wife. Johnson, by the way, is a show about 4 men living in Atlanta. We're all best friends. We've been best friends since we've been children, but we just so happen to have the same last name, Johnson. And it's told from the black male POV. And it's literally showing black men in a more positive, influential light, as opposed to kind of how we're usually shown in the media, which is, most of the time negative. And all cultures have their positive and negative stereotypes, but a lot of times, black men are shown more in a negative light. So the creator of the show, Deji LeRae, my producing partner, and I, we wanted to produce a show that showed the everyday, honest, ambitious black man that's emotionally intelligent, that's chasing his dreams, that's just dealing with life conflicts like everyone else. Cedric the Entertainer is an executive producer on the show as well, and Eric Rohn, they're partners with their company, Bird and the Bear Entertainment, and my company, Midnight Train Productions, and Deji's company. We partnered with Bounce TV. So, yeah, that's what that show is about. But that character it gave me a chance to be an everyday dad and not Thomas Jones, the football player, but the conversations are what everyday dads go through. The conversations are what a man going through a custody battle or going through marital woes with his wife, that's what they talk about. So naturally, you'll see me in that role, and you don't see me as Thomas Jones. You see me as a father that's fighting for his marriage and fighting for his son. So the more grounded you can be and the more specific you can be as an actor coming from the NFL like me or DK, it helps your cause in regards to people respecting you as an actor.
Well, we'll pass this along to DK Metcalf. That's for darn sure.
Wish him all the best, man.
Yep.
And also, real quick, I would say this. Acting, it started off as something to do because I was really struggling to figure out what I was going to do next. And then it became therapy. My acting coach, Franz Turner, is one of the most influential people in my life. He showed me how to take all of the trauma and all of the things in my life and to compartmentalize those emotions and put them into the characters. And that became therapeutic because in football, you can't show vulnerability. You can't show weakness. That's how you get beat. And you're constantly taught, don't get beat, don't get beat, don't be weak, don't be vulnerable, don't show vulnerability. And then that becomes a part of who you are. And that takes a little bit of the humanity away from you, which is just that's not realistic on a day-to-day basis. The NFL is a very small percentage of people, and that environment is very unique. But in the world, everyone has feelings. They have emotions, regardless of whether you're a man, woman, whoever you are. But I was always bottling those things up. And because Franz allowed me, through his technique and Ivana Chubbuck's technique, to put those emotions in my characters, I was able to find therapy in each different character that I played based off of the emotions that the character called for in the scene. So, yeah, it became therapeutic for me. So I would say any football player, if you retire, even if you don't want to become like a Hollywood actor, it would be good to maybe take some improv classes, some acting classes, just to help you kind of come back to humanity from playing in the NFL.
Fascinating, man. And then for you to, again, be so successful in the NFL, where you just described having to bottle your feelings, and now you're entering a profession where you need to utilize them and uncork them on demand, pretty much,
right,
for your benefit in a profession where you're typecast because of how successful you were in the previous one, which is so short that you're required to find out something else to do.
Right.
That you're successful at it is amazing, man.
Right.
And
right.
I send my congratulations as always to you.
Thank you.
On everything.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on here, man.
Thanks for having me.
Thomas Q. Jones, his show Johnson that he acts in and is the co-executive producer for, Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern on Bounce TV, Encores, the next day streaming on Brown Sugar. You're welcome here anytime, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Great to see you. Thomas Q. Jones and Thomas Jones together right here on the Rich Eisen Show. We're back with more in a moment. Look at that.
When I spoke to Jeannie, she said that she would have you do anything you'd like for the Lakers franchise. Has she communicated that to you?
Yeah.
Okay, she has.
Yeah.
Even a rumor that you might consider even maybe coming out of retirement to play one more time for the Lakers.
Right.
I see you're laughing.
Yeah.
There's nothing to that, right?
There's about a 0% chance that I come back and play.
So not even like a...
Nothing.
0. You're toast. You're finished.
Done.
As a player.
That's it.
Did last year at any point with you going through your first season not playing basketball?
Never.
Not once did you think about it?
Never. Here's the thing, is for us athletes, it's really hard to transition from that, right? And I was really personal about it when I wrote Dear Basketball. But that is the true challenge of finding what comes next and finding something that you love to do every bit as much as you loved your first passion. That is a challenge for us. And I think, unfortunately for us athletes, we've been pigeonholed into thinking that we can only be one thing. And so when I retired, everybody is saying, okay, he's too competitive. He's not going to know what to do with himself. He's going to have to come back. I took that as a personal challenge of them thinking I'm this one-dimensional person, that all I know is how to dribble the ball, shoot the ball, and play basketball and compete at that level. And so I took it as a personal challenge. I will never come back to the game, ever. I'm here to show people that we can do much more than that. And creating this business, winning an Oscar, winning the Emmy and the Annie, those are things that are showing other athletes that come after, no, there's more to this thing, right? So I would never, it's not even a thought.
So the goal was an EGOT? You want the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, the Tony?
The challenge became, how do I take the lessons that I learned through the game of basketball and translate them into building the studio, right? What are the things that I can take from that? The discipline, the commitment, the team and community. How do you get the best out of each other? How do I take those lessons and move those here? That is the challenge. How do we do great work, uncompromising great work? You're not looking at the bottom line. You're focused on the product first, right? Is this the best thing that we can possibly make, no matter what? And having that sharp focus is something that I got from the game of basketball.
That's Kobe Bryant talking about turning the page after retirement as well, a conversation we just had in depth with Thomas Q. Jones. Today would have been Kobe's 44th birthday. And tomorrow is the 4-year anniversary of that chat. It's 8/24. That's Kobe Bryant Day. A full conversation you should check out on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. And we're here on YouTube and Odyssey, back here on the terrestrial radio network, 844-204-RICH, number to dial. Great chat right there with Thomas Q. Jones. Callaway invented Chrome Soft to be the best tour ball, period, folks. It didn't just have to make better, it hasn't just made the better players even better. It's made everyone better. It's made the best better. It's people like me better. I feel more confident standing over my Chrome Soft golf ball with the triple track technology. I just know if I hit it, I'm going to hit it far. And it was fun. I was playing the other day, and I said, I'll make mention of this. Playing companion loses the ball. I said, just flip another one. And I flipped him a Chrome Soft with the triple track. He goes, I like these balls. I'm like, okay, great. You can keep it. That's what I said.
We have a lot.
Well, that's not why I did it. That's because I'm a good guy.
Oh.
Even if it was my last touch Chrome Soft, I would have given it because I'm that type of person.
How is that?
Wait a minute. Wait a second.
Because Chrome Soft, hold on a minute, doesn't just make me a better player. It makes me a better person, Chris.
So
that's how it works. Hold on. Let me finish this.
I'm trying to get in an
They're
elevator.
the highest quality, most consistent, fastest golf balls possible. There's a type of Chrome Soft that is out there for your game. When you add it all up, it's so simple. Chrome Soft is better for the best and better for everyone. Find out which Chrome Soft is right for you at CallawayGolf.com/Chrome Soft. Now you may have attitude.
I was just like a better person, but you still close the elevator on any one of us. So.
Not any one of you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I do it again for ladies and the elderly.
Yes.
But if there's any guy coming up to the
three of us, we're getting.
If you're coming up and hold on a minute, and I'm going up to floor 10. Mm-hmm. And it's a 14-floor building, so I do the odds. Odds are you're going to make me wait to get off on your floor. I'll do the Larry David, I'm trying so hard to hit the door open. Oh, I missed.
Well, we need you to carry a Chrome Soft everywhere you go, then.
Dude, what am I going to shoot people straight here?
How was that guy's hit after you flipped him the new ball? Striped it?
Yeah. It was definitely operator error. It was the craftsman. It's the craftsman, not the tool. Nice. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Fun show. I love Thomas Q. Jones, man.
He's great.
Let's go to Royce in Vermont. You're here on the Rich Eisen Show. I got a couple minutes for Royce. What's up, sir?
Hey, Rich. Good to hear you again, man. Just want to tell you that when I call in, I'm going to do two things.
Yep.
One, I'm going to plug St. Jude. Two, I'm going to give you a Mount Rushmore of something.
Okay.
So first, thank you for what you do for St. Jude. It's amazing.
Appreciate that.
People, please give.
Thank you, sir.
It's amazing that these families get to focus on their children without having to worry about their bills or anything. St. Jude's takes care of.
You said it
all of
perfectly,
that.
Royce.
I hope there's more.
You said it
Here's
perfectly.
my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, I have
logo.
about 45 seconds for your Mount Rushmore, so I think about 12 seconds per face. What do you got?
All right, I'll give you my Mount Rushmore. Here's the logos. Number one, the Converse logo. Go back to the 50s and 60s. All you see these guys wearing are Chuck Taylors.
Okay.
And now they're amazing. Number two, the Jerry
West logo?
The NBA logo.
Yep.
That should be changed. It's time to change it to Kobe. Number two, the Rich Eisen logo. Iconic.
Thank you.
It represents everything that you do.
Thank you.
The comedy, the
speed,
the giving.
Don't forget the speed.
Everything you do. And number one, of course, the Michael Jordan logo. Here's my comment. The Arizona Cardinals will win the Super Bowl because the last two teams in their home stadium have done
That's
so.
a TJ thing. I'm sorry I got to go, Royce, because we're at the end of it. How about that?
Thanks,
so Converse, the Jordan Jumpman, Kobe is the new NBA logo in the Rich Eisen Show running man. I would agree with all of those.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I don't hate that list.
Okay. That'll wrap it up on this terrestrial radio network here for a busy, fun Tuesday. See you Wednesday. We're still here on YouTube.
The only problem with the Cardinals is they don't have a new quarterback. So
yeah, that was the one thing.
Home stadium with a new quarterback.
Yeah, that's where Chris kind of he was in agreements with me, and then we figured that part out. So,
But what if?
Yes.
What if a team with a new quarterback from the AFC plays the Cardinals in the Super Bowl? Because then you kind of got both things working. So we got Denver,
maybe
Indy. Who else has a new quarterback in the AFC?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, because we're not counting last year.
We're not counting last year. That's a rookie. Yeah,
Is that wrong?
Counts, but
Is that wrong
I'm
to
sure
say
he
that?
probably feels the same way.
Jacksonville's got a brand new quarterback, man.
Well, the Jets are going to have Joe Flacco.
Browns.
Or Mike White, you know.
Browns.
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's see who else.
Steelers.
There you go. So those are your AFC teams.
Oh, boy.
To play the Cardinals in the Super Bowl.
Look at that face. Look at that smile. So let's finish up this show with a little bit of housekeeping. Our final poll results. Chris Brockman, I think you put up a couple of polls today, right? One about the straw drinking dude, and then one about the Nets.
I did.
Correct?
So straw drinking dude.
The hot dog straw drinking.
The guy
dude.
at the Yankees game last night drinking a beer through a hot dog. Good luck to Jay Felly and Smitch tonight for the recreation. Madman 82%, Genius 18%.
Oh.
Kevin
So you're
Durant.
going to strike a blow for the 18% tonight, brother.
Sir. Good luck. Now that Durant's back, how far does Brooklyn go next year? Lose in the NBA Finals, so to make it but not win, 2%. Win the title, 7%. Lose in the Eastern Conference Finals, 19%. Lose in the first or second round, 72%.
Okay. Oh, and one last item up for bids, just to review. RES Consulting, we're here for Artie Moreno, who's mulling a sale of the Angels, and I think he needs our help. As I said earlier, there's a lot of Angels fans that'll probably be like, don't let the door hit you on the you-know-what on the way out, Artie, even though he spent a lot of money. Not a lot of wins, and apparently some alienation.
Uh-oh.
Here's one Angel fan happy to see him go. His name is Rod Carew.
Oh.
He retweeted the Angels press release about Moreno thinking of selling the team Well, this is happy news. I have renewed hope that my relationship with the Angels organization can be fully restored.
What?
Who is more of a sweet human being on planet Earth? Who is more of a gentle, sweet human being on planet Earth than Rod Carew? If you've pissed off Rod Carew, you've really done something.
I don't even know what the story is, and I'm on Rod Carew's side. I don't even know what's going on.
If you've alienated Rod Carew, you've really done some work. Really? Are you Googling like what the history might be here?
I was looking up how old he is. He's 76.
Meaning what? Like how long the grudge is? I mean, Marino's been around 20 years, so maybe that's how long it is. So you sell the team, and I tell you, like bring back the Autry uniforms and the Autry way of doing business. And I know that didn't lead to a lot of success. But you bring back Rod Carew, right? Let him throw out the first pitch. Everybody's wearing the old Brian Downing uniforms, right? The Don Baylor uniforms. Let's go.
Gosh, Artie Moreno bought the Angels for $180 million. He's going to get almost $3 billion for this team.
You think so?
2.5 at least.
What year was that, Chris?
It was 2003.
2 years after they won it all, or 1 year after they won it all.
1 year after they won it all.
Yeah, that was my last World Series. Suze was covering it for the Southern California Sports Report. Me for the Worldwide Leader.
Yep. So I'm guessing around 2.5. He'll probably get. Got to overpay a little.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you definitely overpay if RES Consulting is involved.
Especially in this town.
Certainly because you save on fees.
Inexpensive.
We're inexpensive. We're not cheap.
Not cheap.
Come on now.
Focus. Shouldn't Ballmer just got it? He's got 2.5 in his.
On his probably in the
couch cushions.
Right, or in the ashtray of his Fisker. Fisker ashtray. I hardly know her. All right.
I bet you Ballmer drives like a
That'll
Honda.
wrap it up for this edition of the Rich Eisen Show. Tune in tomorrow. Michael Mann, the director of Heat and the author of the best-selling novel Heat 2, will be on this program. And then the fruits of Jason Feller in the privacy of his own home, and Sean Mitchell in front of Dodger faithful, going ahead and doing their own hot dog straw into a beer. That'll be great.
Man.
We will see you on Wednesday on the YouTube stream here on The Rich Eisen Show.